thing that seems the worst of that is the loot box.
Do they still do it? Surely they're not still doing those.
I hope not. Give us $120 a month and we'll send you a random Spawn action figure and
6 Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Basically, all they do is redirect packages that were going to go to Five Below to your house.
Yeah, I bet they don't exist, but there's a small contingent of people that have not signed up for Rocket Money, so they're still getting charged.
Did anyone here ever do one of those?
No.
No, I don't make enough money nor spend enough money that I have to worry about that.
I would just be angry because, I'm the type of person I'm hard to even get birthday or Christmas presents for because if I want it, I will get it myself. The fact that I don't already have it means it's too expensive for me to have, or I don't want it. So any gift I get, it's kind of just thanks. I love you. Thanks for the thought.
Can I cut in here to say that I thought DK was asking if any of us had tried Rocket Money?
Oh, I thought he was talking about loot boxes.
Your answer now makes more sense.
You were asking about Rocket Money then.
No, I wasn't. Loot crates, baby. I've never done one, by the way.
That seems like something that in theory would be fun. But like Chris said, I know that it's just maybe 1 out of 12 things has any value to it.
Or is something that you give a shit about.
Yeah.
Or is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The odds of just bullshit accumulating in your home are very high.
Yeah, because it's all they're all themed we're going to send you nerd stuff. And it's okay, well, maybe I like Star Wars, but I don't give a fuck about Doctor Who. Or we're going to send you man stuff. And it's a knife is cool, but I don't need this weird fucking straight razor shaving kit that you're sending me. So
I could see the nerd ones just being box after box of sonic screwdrivers and so many TARDISes. Yeah, that sucks. Don't do it. If you have one, if they're still going, cancel it, please.
Yeah, I mean, I see ads for them. They're not really nerd stuff. It is more you're a mid-30s to mid-40s-year-old man. You like to shave and stab things with knives and drink. It's not really.
It's mainly stuff for your beard and mustache.
Yeah. Consume. That's all it is, right?
They live.
Yeah, that's the thing is you watch sci-fi movies.
They live is different than The Thing. Sorry. I couldn't let that go. Couldn't let that walk past. I gotta go.
But, yeah, you watch sci-fi movies and all of these things that they're oh, this is going to be the future and look how depressing it is. We already have it. Loot boxes, that's just a way for you to consume without making any decisions about it. And there's also that trope of oh, we're on a spaceship. We're going to eat this pill. That's what food is in the future. We already fucking have that with Soylent and Huel. It's just nutritious gruel. So you don't have to think
keep
about
coding.
Yeah, you can just keep on working, keep on producing.
And it, for the most part, maybe this is just the nature of the sci-fi that I consume. Generally, thanks to Roddenberry, a lot of it is meant to be progressive, politics within the sci-fi.
Thanks,
you would
Gene.
think the consumerism of the sci-fi genre is spitting in the face of these groundbreaking people who were trying to say, what's great about Star Trek is that there isn't any money and we have everybody can eat.
There's a post-scarcity society and we don't have those problems anymore.
You don't go into other cultures and tell them what to do.
But they haven't figured out hair loss.
Right.
No, I think they have. It's just that
he chooses not to.
Yeah, they're not vain anymore.
It's a symbol of power. He's ascended beyond. Okay, you might be right.
Remember that episode where he fucking lives a whole lifetime and learns how to play a flute?
Yes.
Such a good show.
Oh man.
But enough about Gene Roddenberry's sci-fi. Let's get into a whole different type of sci-fi. Hello everyone and welcome to Dead Formats. I'm your host Chris. and I don't even know what the fuck this show is about anymore. This episode, we're going to be discussing a book from 1993 called Alien Contact. And this week, I've got two very special guests, a couple of heartless crackers. DK, Bones, how are you doing this evening?
I've eaten the black grass, dude.
I'm doing real good. I'm sincerely wondering how this is going to go.
Yeah.
How is this going to go? Because I have so many questions.
We're going to find out. We are going to find out.
I'm going to need you to start giving answers now.
So if you listen to this show, you know these guys. They're the returning champs. I don't know. I think Bones may have an edge over DK in appearances because there was like a 5DR show.
Well, he came on with Chris.
Oh, that's true. I think it's equal. I think they're
I don't want to know. I just want to assume that we are equally good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
It's very
Bones.
Roddenberry of us to be.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Bones is 1/3 of the 5 Day Rentals podcast. DK is 1/2 of Nerds, Geeks, in the Kitchen Sink, and also 1/2 of DK and Dan Like Bands. You guys fucking know this shit? I mean, is there much to explain? I always say, like, I'm not going to make them explain because I personally hate talking about myself. But
well, I think it's probably worth noting that you were on the most recent DK and Dan Like Bands for people who like this show. They may want to hear about your, Fulci. I mean, to me, that episode is really about the Fulci discussion. Is that fair to say? I think it was.
I think so. I think that's where we had the most interesting things to say, not to toot our own horns.
And gas stations and,
yeah.
I listened
Roadhouse.
to it while I was playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. It was pretty cool.
Oh, hell yeah. Just listening to Fucked by a Broken Bottle while you're clearing out a cave full of goblins.
Works surprisingly well together.
I'm interested to know a listener of one of our respective ventures that doesn't have like our other shows in their podcatcher at a certain point, right? Like it's just got to be.
You would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the guests on this show, the guest list has comprised solely of podcasts that I listen to. So I listen to all of them. And Spotify does this thing where it tries to like suggest, like if you put in your episode description, Bones from 5DR, it tries to find other things that Bones is in. It did that with Murph from the weekly podcast Massacre recently, and it was just like jazz artists named Murph. So
hell yeah,
it doesn't work that well.
I think Weekly Podcast was the only other show that somebody told me in Spotify that our show connected to. They were like, that's the only one that it ever listed. And I wonder if that's from them being on our pod or vice versa.
Well, they're doing something right because they've been doing it for 5 years now.
Yeah, they're about to catch us. I had to stupidly quit the show. They're going to beat us, I think.
How long? I mean, you've been doing Nerds Geeks for a long time too, DK.
Yeah, 2019, maybe 2020. It's been at least 5 years.
Returning champ, reigning champ. It's hard for me to know because most of them I didn't come into like at the beginning, because who fucking listens to a podcast from the beginning unless you happen to you happen to know the person. But I do listen to the back catalog. I just like blitz through it.
Sure.
So many a night fell asleep to the dulcet tones of DK and Chris
arguing about this stupidest shit.
Yeah.
I think my first podcast was like 2009 or 10. Actually, I remember doing one. We talked about Skyrim. I had a brief show called Super Playbox 64 with a bunch of video game guys, and we talked about Skyrim on launch. And I remember me bitching and complaining because there wasn't multiplayer. Thinking back, it's crazy to want it's crazy to think that could have happened.
Yeah, I think anyone who has done podcasting for as long as any of us has had several false starts. And for me, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, this person's not nearly as into this as I am. So
yeah,
that kind of seems to be the way it goes.
Yep.
Well, and we're still in like the post-COVID spike, I think. I think so, yeah. We've recently had, I think, another uptick in the celebrity spike.
Dear
Thanks,
God.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah. But I also feel like Mark Maron saying, all right, it's time. I have to wonder if that'll set a trend. Some of these other ones. Yeah.
Who will take his crown?
Yeah.
Who will lock the gates?
Right. And then, the second or third most profitable podcast is now in wireless cell phone service. So I feel like the facade is pretty much broken. Who's in it for the right reasons? And I would say Chris for making people read Alien Contact.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Are those the right reasons?
They're more pure, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you were to think of things that could not possibly make you money, this would be one of them. I'm hurting.
Well, let me say this. Through the reading process of this, I would occasionally give my wife updates on how it was going. She pretended to be interested, but she doesn't give a shit. I know it. But I would be giving her updates, and she would ask, and she would have questions like, but what is this?
I don't know.
What's going, can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? And I would try to Google it. This doesn't exist. You cannot find this anywhere. You are bringing this to the people. Literally you're breaking this story.
Yeah. Breaking news.
I feel like this is huge. This is a huge one.
So our dead format this week is a fucking weird one. It's a Russian novelization of an alien movie that doesn't actually exist. Can't even call it a dead format because, well, unlike Scalesy, it's a format that never really had the chance to live. So before we start talking about the particulars of this, are you guys big Alien fans, or as I propose, we call ourselves from now on, sleepyheads?
I'll go. Yeah, I like the Alien franchise. I have since I was a kid. I would not put it in my top, but it's up there. Like, yeah, I love it. I mean, I have notebooks from when I was a kid, and there's like a xenomorph on every other page. I love the design. I'm a Giger guy, of course, because I'm one of those freaks. Just dicks. Everything's dicks.
Or vaginas.
Yeah, but the dicks. Yeah, I'm a fan of the way it looks. I love the original movie. The original is my favorite. But I'm one of those controversial. I rank them Alien 1, 3, 2.
I think that's
as far as
acceptable.
enjoyment. People tend to not like it when I say that, but that's just how I feel about it. And look, I love Aliens. It's great. It's a classic. But 3 has a lot more for me in the way of strange sci-fi bullshit that I am into, and it feels so 90s and gross. I love that about it. But yeah, I like the games. I've also been known to enjoy a Predator. There's a bit of a crossover there. So yeah, I mean, I'm from the generation that just, we're defenseless against Alien. Like, you're going to see them all, and you're going to be pissed off every time. But maybe, I mean, I liked, and I don't know if you're going to bring this up, but I did like Alien, what's that most recent one called?
Romulus.
Romulus,
Yeah.
thank you. I was trying to think of what ancient name it was. I liked Romulus just fine. I put it up there pretty high.
I mean, I think in terms of legacy sequels, it's one of the least offensive I've seen. I think I probably gave it half or 1 star too many on Letterboxd, just because I do and always have really liked Prometheus, and there's some like pretty big Prometheus references in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and also it's like, it was the first movie I had seen in a long time that wasn't like a super high budget sci-fi film that actually felt like there was some production design into it, and it wasn't
it's amazing
touch screen. Like,
yes,
it looked good. I did like the android in it too. He was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of
Except
the
that one
references to the
that
original
line did not need to be there.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Bones? Big Alien guy or sleepyhead?
I have reverence for the franchise the same way I do Predator and Terminator, but just like those other franchises, and throw RoboCop in there just to round it out. They've been bastardized to the point now where I can throw my hands up. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I didn't see Alien Covenant up until like the week Romulus came out, and I thought, well, let me just in case, because I hated Prometheus so much that I was done.
Speaking of characters playing the flute,
That's one of the worst haircuts in movie history, what they did to that poor woman's head. It's upsetting. But like Terminator, I recognize that this is built off of an incredible happy accident, something that punched above its weight, has a really... I go back and forth between Alien and Aliens being my favorite. I have massive respect for what Alien did and accomplished, and it's a masterclass in tension and atmosphere. Aliens is just the type of movie that I want to watch and what I grew up watching with my family. It was we're dropping the remote. Doesn't matter at what point of the story it is. I grew up with my dad yelling, "Game over, man," whenever somebody got upset. Like that was his "oh, go cry" response. So, but I outgrew it. So at this point, it's like, hey, if Romulus is good, Romulus is good. That's great. If Terminator Genisys is shit, I don't care. At this point, I can dissect down to Predator, Aliens, Terminator 2, RoboCop, and be fine. I don't need the legacy stuff. It's the same way I treat Halloween, for example. Like I love it, but it's not something I'm buying a box set, and I don't care because I have James Bond as a franchise that I will put all of my effort into complaining about. There you go. See,
DK is holding up several Halloween box sets.
And when I sign up for his
loot box,
I know I'll get one of those.
Oh yeah, Halloween 4 and 5 just sitting right here. Oh yeah, people care about this. They want to know.
I'm glad that you. I don't begrudge anybody that likes Prometheus. I do hope you have the good sense to say that it's kind of a mess. And
a little bit, but I think it's just the ideas and the things talked about it that carry it for me, which is kind of weird because I am the type of person that really will be like, oh, well, they took their fucking helmets off. So,
no, Chris, no, don't go back because I agree with you. It's okay to like it. It's totally good.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. I just need we need to establish that floor because what I'm going to say is Alien Contact, from what I'm able to interpret, some of it isn't worse than what Prometheus was trying to do.
I, in our Discord group chat, said, you guys started reading this before I did. And I said, it cannot be any worse than Joss Whedon's script for Alien Resurrection. I fucking stand by that. Joss Whedon's a hack fraud. Fuck him. This is better. But I'm just going to breeze past that and ask you guys if, this is kind of a book novelization. So I would consider that a dead format. I think they probably still do that. Maybe audiobooks. I know that I often fall asleep listening to a Dawn of the Planet of the Apes audiobook, but it was a much bigger thing back then. And even prior to the 90s, because it's like, well, I don't have a VCR. Tapes don't exist yet, really. The only way I can experience this is by reading this book. So I'm wondering, like, if you guys grew up with any sort of relationship to book novelizations.
I absolutely did. My mom was a librarian. And so for me, it was, I will buy, she would, straight up, she was like, I will buy you any book you want to read anytime. Books are on the table. If we're at the store, I'll tell you no on 10 different toys, but if you pick out a book, it's coming home with us. And there were a lot of novelizations. I think we've talked before. I was a big Star Wars fan. So I think a lot of my literacy comes from Star Wars. And I know that sounds insane, but I was reading the top tier Star Wars books when I was in like 3rd and 4th grade. And I would like find words and go, what the fuck is this? And I would look up the word and learn the word because of Star Wars, because I'm reading all these books. And there were tons of novelizations and adaptations of the movies.
Did you ever do that with jizz?
Oh, I looked up jizz. Of course.
What is jizz?
Mom, I need to look up a word in the library. Can you look up jizz?
It's the type of music Figure and Dan plays. I need to know what jizz is.
I'm not even going to tell that story. Okay, very briefly. I would think I was in 6th or 7th grade, and we had to do a project regarding a team. Let's just say it was a team project, and we needed a team name. And I was always talking about jizz, even then. And my friend didn't know
As you do.
He didn't know the true meaning. And so the teacher came around and said, okay, what are you going to call your team? And he very straightly said, let's call it the Jizz. And I died. I mean, I literally died. And there was a teacher's aide who had to leave the room. It was wonderful. So, but, so anyway, that aside, I also have been a real big fan of these shitty horror paperback adaptations. So like the Halloween novelization, I love it. I love it. And so there's a bunch of those. I mean, any of those shitty horror movies, I'm not saying Halloween is shitty. I love it, of course. But like any movie you want has one of those just to make a quick buck out of it, you know, just to squeeze anything they can. And they were profitable back then. So I do have quite a few of those, like The Omen, just tons of random ones. So
yeah,
I definitely love those.
I'm a bad reader.
Me too.
At a very early age, it was, I like TV. I like movies. I would do the minimal amount of reading for schoolwork. My mom was a big reader. My sister's a big reader. I fall asleep. My mind wanders. I will read a paragraph and realize like, fuck, I was thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and then go back and then completely forget, or my mind will get ahead of the book. And as I'm reading it, I'm thinking ahead of, well, I hope they do this. I hope Jack Reacher does this. So it takes me a long time to read.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's, if I was a 12-year-old now, there's probably a diagnosis associated with that.
For sure.
But I will say for your listener, when DK, I think we were trying to figure out like, what's the next thing that we could do? I vaguely recall one of us throwing out book novelization.
Believe that was you.
Okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to read something from like the 70s or 80s. Like we're going to do the fucking E.T. novelization, which is notorious for like explaining E.T.'s, like there's first person, internal monologue or something kind of weird.
What book would give you an alien's first person perspective? Nobody would do that.
Yeah, that's insane. Who would do that?
So that's what I mean. Like, or that's what I'm asking is, at what point did you go, let me start from like a famous one and go 20 more steps obscure?
How did you're going to have to tell us.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah. This is not my aliens book. Yeah, so backstory on this one. I don't know how I found this, but I did buy it, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of hedging and explanation that goes into this for reasons that will become apparent later. So I have some interesting books. DK may be privy to what some of those other ones are, but one of them is this. I'm going to show you guys in case, I don't know if I ever sent you a picture of the cover, but this is what it looks like. And that's the back. I actually haven't looked at this since I read it, so I'm trying to like, now as I'm looking at these pictures, I'm like, wait, is this something we read about? Does this factor in?
Honestly, I will say the cover art's good. I think I like the cover art.
It's pretty good.
It has all of these weird books that I have great artwork. One of the artworks in this one was a huge red herring, and I'm kind of pissed about it. But, so I have this book, okay? This is a Russian book that is labeled on the front, Alien 3-4. It came out in 1993, which I believe is 4 years before the actual Alien 4 came out. So, what we're going to get into, Alien Contact, is what some random Russian person thought would be Alien 4. And it's not like, so, I don't know. It is fanfic, right? In like a certain sense, but I am holding a hardcover professionally made book.
Can it be fan fiction if it's in a book like that? I don't know.
And I'll say this. It doesn't read as though Alien 3 happened.
Yes.
It reads as though they pick her up after Aliens.
Yes.
There's
sort of.
Am I
Sort
wrong?
of.
I don't remember
Yes
a mention
and
of the.
no.
Do you remember how Alien 3 ends?
Yeah. That's why I kept waiting for an explanation.
Yeah. So I have this book. I'm like, it's in Russian. I need to translate it because these two, I'll say, madmen agreed to reading a book of my choosing. So it is like probably 4 books in one, actually, but we'll say 2 books in one. The first half of it is a novelization of Alien 3. The second half, which we're going to talk about, is Alien Contact. Weird, semi-official Russian fanfic. I was like, I need to get this translated. Luckily, the university that is local to me will allow anyone that has just like a government-issued ID to go in and basically do what they want. And they have there a set of Bookeye scanners, which are overhead scanners where you lay the book down. It takes a picture of it from overhead, and you can create a PDF from that, and it does all of the OCR. So I was like, okay, cool. It's actually not going to be a huge task to translate this book using Whisper AI. But I got there, I went to the library. The binding on this book, as I'm sure you can imagine, is not great. Super fucking weird. So the first time I went there, I was like, okay, this is just not working out. So I had to custom make this thing, which is called a platen. It is a way so I can hold the book down so that it can be scanned more efficiently.
Holy shit.
Listener, imagine 2 planes of glass pieced together at what I would say like a 60-degree angle.
Spot on, 120.
Jesus Christ.
So I had to do that, and I was like, okay, that's the hard part. This software has done all of the OCR, so now I just have text that I can feed into Whisper AI, but I was wrong. And the reason I was wrong is because I don't know, like I tried to kind of look this up. I don't even know how to explain it. The writing, like the formatting conventions for Russian literature are apparently quite different from English. They use M dashes like a lot, and a paragraph will be like, someone saying something, M dash, that person's internal monologue, M dash, dialogue from a completely different character. And so when I had this in a Word document, it became very difficult because it was like, there's also that thing they do when a word runs from one line to the next and they use a dash. So I had started like, okay, I'm going to edit this thing. I'm going to take care of all of that. Then I'm going to run it through Whisper.
You localize this shit?
Yeah. And so I started doing that. I was like, this is fucking taking forever. And it's super fucking difficult because I don't have a Cyrillic keyboard. And like, even, it's like, if it's the Latin alphabet, I'm used to that. But when it's Cyrillic, it's like I have to get into Word and do like insert symbol. It was a whole huge ordeal. So the thing that I was trying to avoid, which is what I had to end up doing, was just like putting pictures of this book into Google Translate. And the reason I didn't want to do that is because when you do that, it's like, it's only translating that picture. It doesn't take the context of the page before or after it into account. But I felt that it was kind of important because of the lexicographical differences to like preserve that for you guys so that it would kind of make sense because of the weird formatting of everything. A lot of it still doesn't make sense, but it was the best I could do without just spending a massive amount of time fixing the formatting of this.
I'll say that it is. You can read it. I mean, it works. There are some questionable things. There are many questionable things. Like you said, the dashes are a big fucking problem.
Yes.
The weird formatting just in general. And I don't know how much of that is in the original versus...
It 100% is in the book.
It's very strange.
If you've read Cormac McCarthy, it's like that worse in a way. Like you were saying, like it would, you kind of have to read 4 or 5 lines before you realize who is talking and who spoke in the middle of that. And again, it's readable, and part of it kind of made it a little bit more rewarding, and it made it so funny.
Oh yeah.
Like I got about halfway through the first part and I thought, I would love to shoot this completely unchanged. Have the dialogue the exact same, maybe have a narrator explaining all of the internal dialogue, because there's things about people being upset about not getting specific compliments, things that are just, so it's very entertaining. As frustrating as it didn't feel like a chore. And DK, like the same thing. I would close my laptop and shake my head, and my wife would go, "What is it?" I was like, I can't begin to explain. There's a wedding on a space station, and this guy is boning an assistant, and I don't know if it's his wife or his daughter that he's mad at, because their names are so fucking close. I lose track.
Yeah. And also the names appear in many different forms, which on the one hand, it's like that's probably partially Google Translate, but I was reading in Russian literature, they will use like just various diminutives of people's names. So it's like, this guy's name's John, but we're also going to call him Johnny and Jack and J-Man. So it's like, it's probably both of those things, but.
Well, and that's the Sonia Sleepy thing, right? Because that I looked up.
Is that a play on words?
It might be a play on words, but I believe Sleepy is referred to as Sonia a few times. And I thought, is this the same character? So I looked up the Russian word for sleepy, and it was very close to Sonia.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
I believe I did the same thing. But yeah, I understand it to be that Sleepy and Sonia are the same character.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at one point, actually, more than one point, I was like, is there another alien on the ship? Because it does seem in some parts where it almost seems as though there's another alien in play, but I don't think there is.
Yeah.
No. Well, in the second half, many aliens in play, but in the first half, no. So so the total of this thing is 256 pages split into 2 parts. Let me do some real quick math, because I did take notes on every single chapter in this. 62 plus 52. So there's 114 fucking chapters in 256 pages. That's the average chapter at that point is like 2.7 pages, or like the formatting of this is fucking insane. Like you'll have a chapter that's like, oh man, DK and Bones are eating lunch. I wonder what Chris is doing. The next chapter, while DK and Bones were eating lunch, Chris was doing this.
I think there were a couple where like literally a chapter was half a page.
Yeah.
I think it happened more than once. And I will tell you that was kind of encouraging, because there were a lot of pages to get through. But when you see that number continually going up, it kind of is like a little bit of an encouragement to you. So you're like, look, I'm making so much progress.
Man, I read this in like an e-reader on my desktop, and every time I looked down at the percentage, I was like, oh my God.
You can't do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I had to hide it. I had to minimize the window down to just the one page of text and pull it down so I couldn't see the percentage. And I would just throw on like an instrumental album like Russian Circles or Pelican or ISIS or something.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I would say, I'm just going to listen to this album, and however many pages or whatever I can read during that, that's what I would do.
I exclusively listen to Elliot Goldenthal's score for Alien 3 because I think it's a really good score.
It's a good score.
But
yeah, it is.
It's like, this is so ominous, and what I'm reading is so fucking dumb.
I read the first half. What's the first half called? Our World is a Prison or something?
I don't remember.
The first part of the book is called that, I think. I could be wrong about that.
Is that in like the very end of the credits?
Yeah, they'll tell you that after it's over.
Which,
I might have that here. Hold on.
Spoiler alert, we got to get a hold of Batman the Man-Bat, Russian book.
Okay, Our World is a Prison is the
true.
name of...
That's Alien 3.
That's Alien 3, yeah. But yeah, so book 2 is where Contact comes from. But anyway, I read the entirety of the first half of Contact on that little Android device that I got, the RG Slide. It's like this big. And I just was scrolling like in the movie It Follows, that clam thing that she has.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. But it was something much worse. And I didn't get killed by a fuck demon afterwards, so it wasn't worth it.
Another thing that I have read about Russian novels, I don't know this from personal experience because, like Bones, I'm a terrible fucking reader, but they like to employ lots and lots of characters. And so in my notes, I have a characters section. If you guys were to guess how many named characters there are between part 1 and part 2 combined, what would your guess be?
43.
I'm going to double that. I'm going to say 80.
Wait, are we counting double names? Because some characters do have more than one name.
No, so okay. Sonia and Sleepy count as one character.
43 might be low.
And you said 80 what? Bones?
I'm just going to say 80, yeah.
So I think you guys split the difference from what I got, from my count, 65 named characters. And I say named characters, there's probably less than 10 that don't have names. I think there's there's a family of aliens at the end that they don't name, but other than that, it's like anyone who ever says anything has a fucking name and a backstory. You know about their likes and dislikes.
I mean, we follow an alien who gets up from supper from his family and then joins a street gang.
Yeah.
Is he one of the, or is he a simple? Some of the simples are named.
They don't really give a name to
he's not.
They don't have an average class of people.
The simple thing took me. I was like, is that what I think it is? Like the last half of this, the second part is all. Wait, am I reading this correctly? Is Ripley just standing around talking to a bunch of xenomorphs?
Yes.
Yeah.
On a planet that is only slightly different from Earth.
Yeah. I have a lot to think and say about all that, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I assume you're going to go through this insane plot.
Yeah. This is going to be much like our first episode with Phantasm Revision, where it's it breaks the format of the show because it's going through it plot by plot or beat by beat is a Sisyphean task. It's insane, but
yeah,
I'm going to try.
Which made more sense.
Yeah.
Did Ripley die in a space crash?
That my notes get less and less detailed with each chapter because a lot of them don't really have any important information in them, but we'll try. We're just going to kind of see where this goes. So it's separated into part 1 and part 2. In chapter 1, we're introduced to some characters, Roger Callahan, Alan Meyer, Taro Sato. They are employees of an insurance company called Callahan and Ramforth. And one of the things they keep talking about is the company. And so I was like, okay, well, clearly, if you know anything about aliens, that means Weyland-Yutani. But
never once named.
Yeah.
Not once.
And I was like, that's kind of weird. But I did rewatch Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection in preparation for this. What's interesting is that I think in Alien 3, they don't ever say Weyland-Yutani.
I'm sorry that you had to watch Alien Resurrection, though.
Yeah, the movie sucks shit.
Yes.
So, I mean, based on that small piece of evidence, you can be like, okay, well, they probably have only seen Alien 3. Who knows? Because they just keep calling it the company. But so the company is they're a client of Callahan and Ramforth.
Space insurance.
Yeah.
And the first chapter is talking about space insurance fraud and shit.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want us to do it's crazy. It's a crazy way to start.
They talk about this incident that happened 60 years ago, which is the events of Alien. And they're like, historically, our relationship with the company has been above board, but there was this one time when they told us just not to investigate this incident. And they were trying to work out some fucking deal where it's like, don't investigate this. We'll split the insurance money.
Also, they're describing this Callahan character as like a sea captain.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When I read this, I was like, he's the main character.
No.
Does not appear, at least from my memory, he's like maybe in the first couple of chapters, but not at all the main character.
It's absolutely baffling.
I think this guy knocked these things out over weekends, and he took like a month off really early. Like he started really strong and then just totally lost steam. I think that's why the chapters are so fucking short. I think he was probably on a time crunch. I think it feels like there are massive gaps when he was writing this. Like he put it down and then picked it up a few weeks later and was like, what was I doing?
Can we confirm that the guy who wrote this also did the Alien 3 version?
I believe that there is only one writer credited, but I think it's a pseudonym.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Bones. I realized you were saying more.
Yeah, so there's like, I'm looking at the last page. Our World is a Prison, also written by M. Maria. There's editors, but like the publishing center is also just called Maria. So it's like, I feel like it's a pseudonym. Maybe there were like 30 people writing this.
It feels like that. It feels a lot like that.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just me and my like fatigue with reading this, but I felt like at least part 1 seems to be so much more coherent than the first part, or the second part rather.
Okay. But part 1 is a lot of characters bitching and complaining, basically. And part 2 is like a fun adventure. I think I like part 2 better. Baffling as it is.
I will say, you know, it's a jarring thing to start because you're dealing with the translation issues, you're dealing with the differences in grammar and syntax. But I was along for the ride. I was like, this is an interesting take to come at it from an investigatory method.
Yeah.
What is this character going to get? And then when we realized like, oh, he's a boxer, I was like, okay, what do we get? This guy's kind of a badass. And it's like, there's some, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like he's stooping the owner's daughter of like the insurance company, right? Like, it's like,
but them setting up that he's a boxer so early, did you not think he's going to fucking box an alien?
Yeah, now that you guys are talking about it, I'm like, it's weird because like he's a boxer, but for the rest of the book, it's kind of like they're like, oh, this guy's a pussy.
Yeah.
Like,
the most badass person in the first part is one of the chicks that goes nuts.
Yeah.
And gets one of the mini flamethrowers that you can apparently hide under your shirt.
The guy's wife, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all set up. It's like, I don't know. Like the premise is like, hey, Callahan and Ramforth, we're going to ask Alan Meyer, who is the quote unquote main character of the book. You need to investigate the company and see what they're hiding. And he, like Bones was saying, is dating the daughter of one of the like chairman, board members of the company. There's a head of security for the company called Warkowski.
Is that the android, but not an android?
They do describe him that way, and it's like a red herring because you're like, oh, okay, this guy's going to be right. I totally thought that too. There's no fucking android.
That's true. Didn't think of that. No androids. I think, and then the guy Alan's dating, her name is Cecilia, right?
Yeah,
her mom is Cynthia. The dad is Donald. Somehow everyone ends up on a space station. Okay, no. There is like a whole chapter about, okay, I don't, at a certain point, I believe it's chapter 14.
You've broken yourself, dude.
Yeah.
You look like you're in physical pain.
It's awesome.
Can I tell you that
I fucking distressed?
I finished this book like 45 minutes ago. Down to the wire. But so, yeah, the first like 13 chapters are like, oh, Alan's going to go investigate this. Oh, he's going to the gym. He has a friend named Mortimer who's more than a friend. He's a buddy. which who knows what that means in Russian. But they end up like Alan, Cynthia, Warkowski, all the heads of the company end up on a space station for some reason. I think it's like, I don't know, like a family vacation or something. I can't really remember. But then suddenly in chapter 14.
Well, sorry, they make it seem like it's, what's the Damon movie? An Elysium.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like that people have summer homes up on this space station or whatever, but there's also a science lab element and that there are multiple of these in orbit, right?
I remember liking that movie, by the way.
That's the district dude, right? And Chappie.
What's his fucking name? Kruger. They call him Kruger in the movie, but what is his fucking name? He's in A-Team.
Charlotte.
Charlton Copley.
Yeah. Have you seen Heads of State on Amazon? I keep talking about this fucking movie.
I haven't. No.
It weirdly hits, dude. Fucking Idris and Cena. I hope they're the next fucking Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Keep fucking they are so fucking funny together. But he pops up. He's got an Emilio Estevez type role in this movie where you're like, oh, okay. Oh, never mind. It was like, I guess somebody needed a day's pay. Very weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, same director though, right? In Elysium,
Yeah.
in Chappie. What was that guy? The South African dude.
I can't think of his name because
But he was trying to do an alien movie forever.
Yeah.
What is his name? The District 9 guy. God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to look it up. I want to guess it. But this isn't good podcasting. We need to move on.
Sorry.
No, me
Neil
trying to remember
Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Me trying to remember a movie's name is not good. What you were saying was fine.
Yeah.
Because he was spouting the whole, like, he wanted to
undo Alien 3.
Yeah, he wanted to do Superman Returns, right?
Yep.
Like, let's go to the wood planet like we should have done in the 90s.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, no worries. I don't remember. I just remember he tried to make a Halo movie for like 20 years and District 9 2 for 16 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So, I mean, like, I guess that's the thing with Alien 3. Everyone tried to undo it. It's kind of the same with, like, Bones, you were mentioning is like Terminator. It's like, how can we get Arnold back in this? Like, that's where the money is. Or fucking Saw. That's the better example of, like, you make this mistake in the third movie and then spend 9 other movies like, well, you know, he's dead, but this was actually going on.
Yep. You're right.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I think it's Saw 4 or Saw 5 where there's a reveal at the end that it happened in parallel with the other movie. And me and my dad were like, whoa. We were legit like, that was good, right?
It was.
Or is it Paranormal Activity 2?
That takes place before.
Am I spoiling anything?
You find out it takes place before.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you find that out at the beginning. You know that.
Dude, what the fuck? I was going to watch Paranormal Activity 2 tonight.
But wait, the bigger one, later in the Paranormal Activity franchise, it's like way later. Is it called Marked Ones?
Oh, I didn't see anything past 2.
That one's like kind of, actually I like 3 a lot too, but Marked Ones, I think like a portal opens and a character ends up in Paranormal Activity 1. Like they're doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think for me, I actually really resent like the David Gordon Green Halloween shit of like, we're going to ignore all of this except this movie, except we're going to constantly reference everything that happened in the movies that we ignore.
Don't worry, he's not supernatural. And then the next fucking movie, he totally is supernatural.
Yeah. Super fucking annoying. Michael Myers is like a shark. I like when there is no like resetting because I like of the idea of like, how are they going to deal with this convoluted shit? To me, that's way more interesting. It's like,
it was the ambulance driver whose child was killed and that he was trying to get revenge.
That's what happened. Michael crushed his throat.
And I'm sure better, nerdier, more well-spoken individuals have talked about this. that is forsaking a franchise because of a character, right? Like Ripley is your through line to get you from Alien to buy into Aliens, because you need somebody who kind of carries the audience along.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps it. I don't think it would necessarily take away from it, because there's other movies that, like Predator 2, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They established that, the character is the Predator. That's what everybody gives a shit about. So that already gives Predator like a better like anthology setup.
Yep.
Just letting Ripley die at the end of Alien 3 and then moving on to a different Alien level thing would have set you up in the future way better.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Terminator. It's like, all right, we can get him back for 3. It'll be great. We'll see the deployment of Judgment Day. We should move the fuck on. But as soon as Terminator Salvation, as soon as they bring him in, fucking deep faked at the end, all you're doing is saying we are so fucking up Arnold's ass for Terminator, you can never go forward.
Yes.
Yep.
And I feel like Alien Romulus, I agree with you, DK. His fucking comment when he drops on that alien is like, you were doing so well. You were focusing on the alien as the thing that we're all here for, and you're bringing it back to Ripley, and you're making us all go, what the fuck?
There's no reason for it to be there whatsoever.
We don't need it.
Nope.
And we're never going to learn that lesson.
Yeah, I mean, that 3 to 4 transition is a turning point, and it's like in both real life and in Russian life, people independently decided, you know what? No, we're just going to bring Ripley back.
Spoilers, she's back, baby.
It's my beef with RDJ as Doom. It's my fucking beef with the Daniel Craig era of Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same thing that you were talking about, Chris, with like David Gordon Green saying like, well, piss on those movies, but we're just going to acknowledge them the whole time.
Yeah.
Like the callbacks in the Craig era Bond are very frustrating to me. I don't enjoy them. Like, why would you have that Aston Martin within a fucking ejector seat?
I mean, the thing that pisses me off so much about those Halloween movies, it's like, we're going to ignore all of it. So it's like, okay, well, if you're ignoring it, then Michael Myers is just some dude that killed like 4 teenagers 50 years ago. But everyone in that first Halloween movie is like, whoa, Michael Myers. It's like, okay, I bet if you looked up in your city someone that killed 4 people 50 fucking years ago, you've never heard of them. So it's like, you say you're ignoring it, but you are trading on the cultural cachet that it has built up as a film franchise for the past 40 years. So you're not really ignoring it.
I don't know. Small town boogeyman is a real thing.
Maybe. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'm more concerned about with the people in my city that are killing motherfuckers right now.
Well,
not some 70-year-old man in a mental institution.
But it's one of those things where your parents would tell you, you drive past a certain building and they go, oh yeah. And then everyone talks about it on the playground and it builds and builds and builds. That's the Myers of it. I'm not saying your point is invalid, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, imagine if you're in your town and you hear on the news, 74-year-old Michael Myers serial killer escapes. You'll be like, who gives a shit? I could fucking break that man with one punch. He's brittle. He has osteoporosis.
Yep.
I don't know. I cut you off, Bones. I'm sorry.
No. I again, it's something that everybody's said multiple times, but to go back to, he's a shitty person. It's hard for me to say total hack because he's done some things, or he's delivered some things that I've enjoyed. But the problem with Alien Resurrection was fucking cloning Ripley. Number one.
Yes.
Yep.
It should have just been, give me a fucking band of space pirates. Like, why it took them so long for Alien Romulus, like the whole Romulus thing of like, just another ship comes across the Nostromo. Why is this so fucking difficult? Like, and then again, I'll delay the Prometheus beef until the second half because I think that's more relevant. But for the credit of this is at least saying aliens are fucking out there. It's terrifying. there's a massive company that's trying to cover this shit up and use it for bio research, that's enough. That's enough of a platform for you to bring in another character to have 2 or 3 movies in an arc. And it's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
The failure of that is not that Ripley was so awesome, which she is. It's the failure of you understanding why it worked in the first place.
Yeah, which I would say, I mean, I feel like Alien 3, I've always liked that movie. And a couple nights ago when I was rewatching it, I'm like, it's very clear, like watching it's like, okay, he's trying to bring it back to basics without completely retreading it, because it is like, it's kind of just Alien. They transport her to like a secluded place with no escape. It's a planet in this instance instead of a ship. So it's sort of like trying to retread it, but also like there are different emotional and thematic beats in it. And at the end, it's like, we've kind of done everything we can with this. So let's have her fall into a vat of molten lead. That seems as final as it could possibly be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Resurrection and Contact disagree. Apparently you can come back from that pretty easily.
No problem.
But yeah, I think before we got onto this tangent, where we were at in this book is that they're on this floating Elysium Matt Damon space station. Suddenly the book changes to a first person's perspective of an alien, a xenomorph, whose name is Sonia/Sleepy.
You heard that correctly. The book calls the alien Sleepy.
So named because he/she likes to fall asleep a lot.
Yep.
So what were you guys thinking when you got to this chapter?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like, did they really just do that? That was when I paused and, like, just told my wife, I'm like, I know you don't care, but they just said an alien's called Sleepy. And then, so from there on out, every time she's asked about an update, she's like, how's Sleepy doing? So it's a very strange thing.
Not too good.
Unfortunately not.
It's in my nature to try to figure out, like, can this work? Or can I back it up to what I think you're trying? If the alien perspective was the mind of like a 4 or 5-year-old human, I think that could have been pretty cool.
Like an instinctive, like killer, basically.
Yes. Notice thing come cross. What is this? Where room? How get out? Like,
yep.
Maybe that would be boring to read after a few chapters, but I felt like, well, that's the point of a novel, is that you can change perspectives. You can go in and out through prose. You can explain things. And I thought, oh, that's an aspect we've never seen. Like we've seen elements of how they reproduce and how they develop. We've seen that they have some instinctual care for each other, right? So to see that would be cool. But the fact that this thing is talking about, I got to get to a transmitter. What is that biped doing? Like, how does it have the intelligence of a fucking 40-year-old rocket scientist? That totally negates everything that we've seen. Like this creature would not run down a hallway towards an automatic turret.
Right. Well, so the book is trying to suggest that the aliens in the original one were these wild simples, they call them, the wild children, that when they form and they come to life like this, without the proper set of 2 mothers, they will turn into these mindless killers. But the actual race of xenomorphs, which, by the way, that word doesn't appear, I don't think, once in the book.
No.
They're actually quite civilized. And like you said earlier, they live on a planet that is essentially Earth for aliens.
They have Walmart there.
They have stores.
Everything for everyone.
They have bodegas.
Yeah. So what they're saying with this Sleepy character is, surprise, we've been smart the whole time. You humans are the ones that are dumb. Look at what you're doing. You're barbaric.
What we have here is failure to communicate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I was like fucking gobsmacked when I was like, what the fucking Sleepy? Yep. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, it's super weird. And so I think, this is a good time to talk about this, is that in this book, So at the end of Aliens, we have Hicks, Newt, and Ripley escaping on a ship that I believe is called the Sulaco.
Yep.
In this book, apparently, there were just like other dudes hanging out on this ship, humans, and also an alien called Sleepy. And after traveling through space for so long, Sleepy just got so hungry that she had to kill and eat these random crew members on the Sulaco who are named. If you guys want to vamp for a second, I can probably find those names.
Is this the thing that they mention with like the security tapes that they see?
Yes.
And there's
So
a boarding party. Okay.
that is something that was supposed to be happening on the ship that they escape on at the end of Aliens. But unbeknownst to Ripley, Hicks, and Newt, there were a couple of guys named Teddy and Mike also on this Sulaco.
Just two Marines that were like not in the mood for another bug hunt that just like stayed back.
And I don't know if I don't really remember how they go from point A, Sleepy kills. I guess that is what causes the escape pod that Ripley, Newt, and Hicks are on to jettison, is that Sleepy kills everyone else that's on the ship. Is that right?
My I don't know. It's confusing because
Alien 3 is a bit of a mystery in this book.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not clear if Alien 3 happened or not, but I think it did.
It definitely, I feel like it definitely did, but they're just like,
did.
I'm gonna ask a refresher because I know you guys know 3 better than me. They are escape pods that land on the beach, right? It's not the entirety of the ship because
just an escape pod.
It's an escape pod,
because the alien activates and that's enough for it to shoot her out.
Yes.
So this is saying that post her getting jettisoned, that ship got taken. But
Maybe
somehow
I don't
she
think it
survived
is.
the lava.
It's just I think they just gloss over 3 because they do talk about, like, at the beginning of part 2 of this book, they're like, "Oh, you were burned,"
Yeah,
which is what happens at the end of 3. Never explained
the child situation.
Yes.
Yes, which is why she burned herself in the first place, because the company shows up at the end of 3. Lance Henriksen is like, "We need to get that alien out of you. We're totally not going to use it as a weapon." And then Charles Dance fucking dances.
Oh, he dances hard.
Because I'm kind of on board if it's just we found a ship with an alien on it, the hibernation pods had been jettisoned, blah, blah, blah. That's where we got this. That's all you needed.
That could be it. No, that could be it.
I swear to you, I swear that they talk about it in part 2 of this book. They talk about it, but they don't explain the very crucial step of how this woman who drowned herself in molten lead ends up on the xenomorph planet. And so one of the things I was talking about earlier was like, oh, there's a huge red herring, is that in the middle of part 2, there's a very nice piece of art of Ripley falling backwards into the molten lava pit.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with the text surrounding it. So when I was like flipping through it, just looking at, like, flipping through the physical copy in Russian, and I see that, I'm like, oh, cool. They're going to explain how she comes back. They don't. Which is why we're having this conversation in the first place. Makes no fucking sense.
Suffice it to say, it doesn't make sense. It's confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as much as, like, the first part of part 1 is like, oh, they're going to do something different, it eventually just evolves into Aliens, right? It's like, for some reason, there's a wedding between people named Daffy and Dan. And then, like, an alien attacks, and Warkowski, the head of security, has, like, fucking 45 Marines that all have a name and personality traits. There's, like, oh, and also, like, Alan Myers' best friend, Mortimer.
Right. He needed a job, so he took a job as security.
He just happens to end up on this space station. There's, like, Blake, North, Hover, Nick, and some other ones that are randomly introduced later on. Like,
and they try their damnedest to give them all different personalities, and it is impossible to discern because like one's a drinker,
one has
one is
tattoos,
a coward.
I think. One chews gum.
Yeah.
And then, it devolves into, and then somebody else is killing people.
I was going to bring
Jesus
this up.
Christ.
Right?
There is also an insane, crazed serial killer on board.
Which
randomly.
Sleepy is observing, like, why is that biped killing the other biped? Well, they obviously don't care about their own lives. I've got to get to the transmitter.
I swear. Dude, that's also a thing from fucking Halloween Kills, right? Where the new Loomis character is secretly killing people.
Well, I don't know if he's secretly... I mean, he wants to wear the mask and feel what it feels like. That does happen in Halloween 2018. That happens in the first one.
Oh, that's the first one. Couldn't remember.
And then you see his dick in Halloween Kills.
I also don't remember that. I'll have to rewatch that.
I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, so like the aliens on this space station, which is like owned by the company, they're just like, they have it in a cage. They're torturing it with electricity. Sleepy, the alien, thinks that they're like trying to torture it because they're going to like pump it for information later. But they're like, you also see all of these things from the human perspective. And they're just like, oh, we're just going to torture this thing to see how it reacts to electricity. And it's like, who's the real monster?
Oh.
And like you guys said, so while there's all of this like aliens shit going on of like these space marines, basically in parallel to that, there's a human, which I actually don't remember who it ended up being. Was it the doctor?
Oh, the crazed killer?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the doctor. I think it's...
Well, sorry, not to throw another level to it. Doesn't one of the guy's wives kills...
She does. Cynthia kills someone.
The homewrecker.
He's trying
then,
Rosa.
Right? And then smashes herself onto the coffee table and then screams. And when somebody comes in, she blames it on them. And then she starts getting all cocky. And then is she the one that has the mini flamethrower hidden?
I think so.
One of the biggest character arc in the book?
Well, so insofar that there is a main character, it's kind of like the main character of the first part of this book is 3 different couples. One of them is Alan and Cecilia. The other one is Donald and Cynthia. And the third one is Parkins/Perkins. And is it Margaret or Martha? It's one of the two.
Why'd you say that name?
And so, like, a huge part of the first part of this book is that all 3 of these couples are, like, breaking up or getting divorced. Like, that's kind of the centerpiece of it. It's like, oh, Alan, you're fucking helping my dad do this. Or Donald, you only care about the company. Or Perkins, you're like a fucking weirdo that fucks his secretary and is like gaslighting his wife into thinking she has mental problems. That's what the bulk of this part 1 is about.
Yeah.
I think.
That's why part 2 is more fun, baby. I'm telling you.
I don't know. And
the problem is the more that you think about each of these parts, the more it just all falls apart and I just don't know anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like aliens crawling through ducts and ceilings, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Sleepy's like constantly looking for food and or a place to sleep. And while she's doing this, she sees, I gotta fucking find out who this killer is because I don't remember.
I try to flip through. I have it here. But there's a pretty gruesome like description of him like just eating someone on the ground. Like,
yeah, he's a cannibal on top of being a murderer.
Oh, Daffy, you're such a child. And he's talking to the alien, saying like, we're brothers. Look, we're both these terrible creatures.
And so, DK, you mentioned at one point they made it seem like maybe there was another alien.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for the reveal that it was like a resurrection sort of thing. Like we've spliced blah, blah, blah. We tried to give a human this shit's DNA or whatever. I was like, surely
thing-
this just isn't humans are bad, right? And we're misunderstanding the alien the whole time. Nope, that's exactly what it is.
And another thing I was kind of confused about was where the acid comes from that burns that first guy to death. Because I thought Sleepy was still caged at that point. I don't know. That could have just been me.
No, there was a whole thing of the guy being underneath it and getting burned. And
Oh, that's what it was? Okay.
Yeah. And then, because you'll be away from Sleepy for a while, you'll finish a chapter, and like the last paragraph of the chapter will be Sleepy was in the corner watching the whole time.
That's true.
It's just moving around the corridor.
And you do get the aliens, like they have the motion detector and all that stuff. Like, there's some classic, like, alien stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely have no idea. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, as I'm like, I control F my notes, kill. So I do believe that Martha's psychiatrist is the main killer. One thing I completely forgot about is that at some point they're trying to get off this space station and a pilot named Bridgewood also goes insane and becomes a murderer. And then Cynthia, the wife of one of the chairmen, also goes insane and becomes a murderer. It's a lot to keep track of because there's a good 34 named characters in this first part.
They split at one point towards the end because one person brings up, like, we can't let this thing off the boat and we can't let anybody in it. We need to. Oh, because the reactor's going to explode.
Yeah. And I don't remember quite how, but all of the chairmen or the board members of the company, they know that this alien is like sentient and sapient, but they don't tell anyone else because they're like, we want to use this as the ultimate weapon. And so at a certain point, the main character, Alan Meyer's girlfriend's father, who is on the board, like he randomly has a fucking heart attack. And on his deathbed, he's like, Cecilia, these aliens are people too. We can't kill them. And so someone initiates like a self-destruct sequence for this space station. And then Alan's like, no, I have to stop it because we are all people, including Sleepy.
Blake? Is Blake the killer?
Maybe.
Blake jumped as soon as Alan came into his field of vision. Oddly enough, the madman missed.
I think you're actually right.
First
and Blake
time
is
ever.
one of the space marines, essentially.
He's a real freak.
And so, I don't know, like, once they know that the alien is, like, super smart, they try to have a conversation with it. They can't understand each other, but they both understand that the other is not a threat. And so, yeah, Blake enters the room and he tries to attack them. The alien is weakened and uncoordinated because for some reason she just like won't sleep or can't find a place to sleep. She curls into a ball and she's like trying to crush Blake under her weight.
Metroid style.
Yeah, but she ends up killing Blake and Cynthia, who is Alan's girlfriend. Alan enters the room and kills the alien with the flamethrowers. Warkowski, the head of security, arrives and notices that the alien has like, oh, another thing going on in the background is that Sleepy's trying to ET style, like create a transmitter and phone home.
Yep.
The head of security is like, oh shit, it's a transmitter. This alien's going to call its friends and it's going to kill us. And so at the end of the book, a rescue team shows up. And Warkowski's like, well, we might have accidentally started a war with an alien civilization. And at the end, I think of these 34 characters, there's only 6 survivors. We got Warkowski, Alan, Cynthia, Cecilia. I have no idea who the other 2 are, but I think the part 1 ends saying, in any case, of the 6 survivors, no one could say anything intelligible, and only one impartial participant in these events has not yet said his last word. His name was Time.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I looked at that page a few times throughout reading this, thinking, is it eventually going to make sense? Is it eventually going to come back?
I mean, I think it does. It's like, I think what it's getting at is like, it's basically, it's the Russian way of saying this shit ain't over yet.
Well,
Like all of this has a rippling effect. There's
Doesn't
no
say
one
effect.
literally named time.
yeah, I understand that. But does it really? Because there's this supposed war that's declared with
The engineers?
the engineers, not
It's-
even humans.
It's a series of cascading events that begin with like, spoilers, some alien wanted to have premarital sex.
Yes.
Like that's what starts all of this.
The description of that is wonderful.
I think it's one of my screenshots, actually. At a certain point, I stopped sharing them with you guys because I was like, we got to talk about these on the show. All because of one stupid girl who at one time did not have enough affection.
Yeah, xenomorph.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
thoughts, gentlemen, as you got to the end of part 1, the end of chapter 62. What a wild ride.
I'm going to tell you my favorite line that I screenshotted from part 1. Quote, probably a murderer, end quote. Something stirred in Dan's heart. Quote, I hate him, end quote. That's just a funny line. Probably a murderer. I hate him.
I know.
I hate him.
Well, what was the one at admiring my toilets?
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Tell me that one.
I
Tell the
got it.
people.
I got it right here. It's the start of chapter 24. Cecilia glanced impatiently at her watch. What she saw on it did not do any good to her peace of mind. She had been alone for almost half a day. No one had asked about her health. No one had admired her toilets. No one had given her compliments. They had simply forgotten about her, and now was the time to remind her of herself.
It's fun to try to interpret the toilets thing. I don't know how clean my bathroom is, how
Yeah.
like good my stool was, like what.
You know,
So that's also the chapter where she and Donald get into a fight and she calls him a heartless cracker. It's one of my favorite things. But yeah, I mean, it's like
as a cracker, I'm going to allow it.
we can't possibly get into the minutia of this plot, but it's like just that snippet is like half of this, 1/3 of this Space Marines, 1/3 of this from the aliens' perspective, 1/3 of this futuristic Russian Days of Our Lives.
It's a good description.
And so when I got to the end of part 1, I was just like, I think I told you guys, like, I fucking hope part 2 is a distinct story, because if they start adding more characters to this that are related to this original group of characters, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually understand anything that I'm reading, because it was very difficult to understand just this first part. That's why I have a section in my notes of characters that are just like, oh, Bergman is Martha's doctor. Rosa Garcia, that's Clarence Perkins' secretary/clerk. Albert, that's Daffy's brother. He was a guest at Danny and Daffy's wedding. He's 70 years old. He's a plump Chinese man with a triple chin.
He gets it pretty good too, if I remember
He
correctly.
does.
I had checked out. Same thing. I thought, what is the connection going to be in this second part? And then once you finally realize who you're with, I thought, okay, that was just an overly complicated prologue to what this is going to be.
Yeah.
And then I started to get scared because I thought, well, fuck, if the prologue is that long, what am I in store for?
That's like when movies don't have the title screen until like 30 minutes in.
Scary
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like the Evil Dead remake, but if that first section was 3 hours long.
First part's pretty cool.
I would hope that anybody listening to this, I highly doubt anybody's going to seek this out. Maybe they'll ask us questions about it and we'll try to fill them in. If you thought, wow, those guys had a really tough time giving a recap of that, please note that a large chunk of our podcasting is beat by beat explanations of things. And if try to recognize how confused we are. Like a lot was working against us. A translation, Russian, and then let alone us all in our mind kind of knowing how Aliens, Alien 3, and Resurrection play out. So even trying to pull that out, it still sucks you back in because you're trying to fill in the logic that this thing isn't giving you. It's giving you descriptions of a plump Chinese man's triple chin. And I need to know, where is this fitting in the overall franchise? So forgive us. I would hope that the second part of this, we will be able to more concisely explain.
Yes.
That said, there is an equal amount of fucking bonkersness to it.
Even more insane.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I mean, from a plot perspective, part one is like, I could see that being a movie. Like, it would totally work. Imagine if Alien 3 came out and someone was like, okay, Ripley's dead. Where do we go from here? I mean, this is kind of an interesting direction to take it from, because I don't think it's ever happened in any of the Alien films, but certainly not in the first. I guess at the end of Resurrection, they do go to Earth. But what I was going to say is, like, at least in the first 3 films, there is no like indication at all of what human civilization and society is outside of like a prison, a mining camp,
the boardroom that she goes to.
Yeah, like a
you know,
salvage
the beginning
ship.
of Aliens. Yeah.
So I think this is kind of an interesting way to take it. I mean, obviously we can't really comment on the quality of the prose because it's machine translated from Russian, but I think in terms of where you could possibly take the franchise after 3, that doesn't, like we said, involve just finding some way to resurrect Ripley. I don't think this is a bad way to do it.
The idea that, so did you guys, how official is it that Blade Runner is in the same universe? Is that official?
I feel like it's not at all official, or at least this is the first time hearing.
Did I always just assume that they were in the same? I always just assumed that what was happening on Earth was Blade Runner. Is that completely dumb?
Depends.
I vaguely recall Ridley Scott basically saying, like, you know, when he was working on it, he had intended that they sort of were in the same universe.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I don't know. But forever in my mind, I'm just thinking, yeah, that it's just Blade Runner happening. Although obviously the years are far removed.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like the plot of Blade Runner is like, who is or isn't a cyborg or whatever.
Rutger Hauer.
And then Alien is like, yeah, this guy's a fucking cyborg. He bleeds milk.
Drink him.
I think if you throw this at me and you go, the idea is this is post Ripley. We are taking a look at Earth, what Weyland-Yutani and maybe a few other corporations have done in the wake of mega capitalism, right? Earth itself is maybe really uninhabitable, so the super rich live on these space stations.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain space stations where biotech stuff is happening, blah, blah, blah. And you do some weird setup where this guy wants to get married, but he can't leave the ship, and they don't know why he won't leave the ship. And it turns out they have a xenomorph. Where did they get it? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think there is, some people might be upset at where I'm going with this. It's maybe like a Halloween Ends level. There's not necessarily a serial killer running around, but what there is maybe there's 1 or 2 scientists that have been a little fucked up because this thing is like a perfect killing machine and it's making me weird. Like, I'm trying to understand, it's like in trying to communicate with the thing, I've gone absolutely fucking bonkers. Maybe like an Arrival level, like how am I perceiving life and whatever. And
getting
then
all
also
horned up, looking at these tentacles, paws, and chitin.
Mm-hmm. And we've in all of the Alien movies up till then, there's always been a semi-antagonist, be it
Burke.
Ian Holm, Burke, that's sort of like there to kind of protect it. Maybe it's you bring in some of the David element of there's one android or artificial person rather who's trying to protect it, and another one that is, no, I'm actually here to run a diagnostic and I want to see what this alien does and murders all these people. Like, okay, cool.
Sure.
I'm kind of game with that. You go complete opposite of 3 where it's clean. It's not a mining ship like the first one. And then you, like you said, you throw these fucking weird dynamics in it. That's just kind of, it can be satisfying. Maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. But it, like I said before, when it started, I thought, oh, this is a great way in, right? Because corporate fucking bureaucracy is all over the franchise. Why not start with a person that's coming at it from that angle?
Sure.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
And I'll say, like, this starts because of an insurance claim investigation. Like, that is the exact kind of plot device that I love. Like, I think that's good. From the
Dracula's all about
it.
real estate. Exactly.
Yeah. Whether or not it's like, does it justify everything that comes after it? No. But I think it's a great seed of an idea from this group of Russians that probably were just like writing this on their lunch break. Could do a lot worse.
I mean, it could be 3 white guys, 3 crackers on a podcast trying to figure it out as well, you know? It's a good name, too.
It is.
I feel like. Are you stoked for the FX series at all? Like,
no, but
okay.
Thank you for reminding me. I have to mention that because this coincides with the August 11th release of the Hulu original series, Alien Earth. If you are an Alien or Predator fan, there's just an embarrassment of riches going on. It seems like there's a million things going on in these franchises. I can't keep up with it. I don't intend to. I think the most recent Predator animated thing, I was like, the animation style on this looks like absolute dog shit. I'm not watching it. Did either of you happen to catch that?
Nope.
No interest?
I'm interested enough, but it's hard for me to get hyped about animated stuff like that.
For sure.
I don't know why, but I saw the trailer and I felt like, I don't know if I want to sit through that. Although I am looking forward to Badlands, I have to admit.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I too did not care for the animation style. It's partially why I didn't finish that last Spider-Verse movie, because it makes me kind of ill.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the fact that they finally were just like, yeah, we get it. You want to see him in Japan? Fucking here you go. All right, here's one in with the Vikings, and it paid off. And the fact that it was done in an anthology style, I really appreciated. And spoiler alert, the way it meshes together at the end, I thought was pretty cool. And I think that series more so than Alien has a better footing as far as being able to stretch itself across different eras, different universes, and mesh together. So I too am excited for Badlands. I really liked Prey.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing is like with Predator, to me, it's like a lot of people are like, I want to see it in this time period or this time period. For me, what makes a Predator movie good, which there are only 3 good ones, in my opinion, 1, 2, and Prey, is not...
Whoa. Where's the Predator's love, baby?
That movie's all right.
The Predator? The one with...
No. Lawrence Fishburne.
Predators with Adrian Brody.
It's okay. Okay,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But for me, like, it's not about the time period. It's about the genre twist. It's like, okay, Predator is your boilerplate 80s action movie, and then an alien shows up. 2 is like, oh, it's a gritty LA crime cop movie, and then an alien shows up. Prey is like period piece coming of age, and then an alien shows up. So I haven't seen the animated series. It's like, I don't care that it's in the samurai time period. What I would be wanting to see is like, this is a samurai film, and then a Predator shows up. So is it that?
It is. Okay. Like, so the Viking story is very much like, oh, any great Viking story, you have to separate the fact that your protagonist is a brutal fucking murderer hiding behind honor and Valhalla, and is
Sovngarde
is potentially the most violent character that you've seen in a Predator story. And then the Japanese story is a very calm, quiet, collected like story of brotherhood and ascension, and it delivers. And the weakest of the three is another sort of coming of age, almost Mary Sue sort of tripping up. The kid may as well be Jar Jar Binks, I would say.
Stumbles ass backwards in success.
What's the time period for it? Or what's the setting?
Wasn't it like World War II?
It's World War II, yeah.
I was thinking like Pride and Prejudice and Predators. From what your first description.
Mr. Dorsey.
Could you imagine the hand flex that one of those predators could do?
Fuck yeah, dude. So I agree with you, lazily just doing like the Assassin's Creed thing of like, all right, what's an arrow? Let's throw a fucking dart at it. I think they do it with some love. But to go back to Alien Earth, one of the reasons I'm excited is that I really enjoy the Fargo TV series. I'm pretty cold on the movie. It's far from my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I appreciate it, but I think the series is pretty interesting. And I would say that his sensibility, I'm interested to see. Like, can he bring a little bit of what I was talking about, that how Predator is better at being, would it be anthological?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Can he bring that sensibility? Because that's what Fargo is essentially. There's loose threads through all the seasons, but they're standalone things. So I'm interested to see if that's what Alien Earth can be. So I know very little of it.
Yeah, all I know is aliens go to Earth, presumably.
I got so pissed off this last week when I went to go see Fantastic Four and they showed a trailer for Weapons.
Yeah.
Because I had avoided anything, because I loved Barbarian and I loved that I knew zero about it, and I just threw it on because I had heard, hey, you should just watch this. So there was a part of me that was like, we got to implement some sort of like no trailer screenings for absolute nerds that don't want to have anything ruined.
You'll pay $20 more for that.
Don't tempt me.
I mean, my solution is just don't see Fantastic Four, I guess, because I have not heard of this movie at all. No.
Don't look it up. Just see it.
There's also a movie called Weapons starring Nick Cannon and Paul Dano.
Oh, don't see that.
Well, I mean, Nick Cannon's weapon is definitely loaded. The dude's got like 30 kids.
Potent.
Hey, Loaded Weapon. I heard about that movie on a podcast that I like.
Did you see it?
I've seen Loaded Weapon. That's one of my treasured VHS tapes.
I hear Naked Gun. I hear good things.
I want it to be good, but I'm just so scared. Plus, okay, Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson are a thing. Can you imagine that?
I guess I must be next in line then, if she's got one particular thing she likes.
Big dongs. Or were you going with you pissing your pants?
That's what I was going to say. I was thinking it, and then I didn't say it.
I'm an okay drummer. I can kick a lot of ass, big dong, and I'll pee my pants. I'm a combination of all of them. And I fucking love America. Let's not forget she was with Kid Rock forever.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't forget.
I won't let you.
She was in an episode of King of the Hill with Kid Rock as a couple.
I don't like that.
Oh, we should have let that die, huh? That should have just been a time like a
Kid Rock? Yeah, we should have let him die. So part 2 switches to Ripley. There's no way to ease into that. Ripley, she's still alive. She awakens in a bed on a veranda in some idyllic place. She wonders how she got there and who saved her. Questions that will not be answered ever throughout the book. And she's wondering, was it the skeletons she had seen on the recording from the ship on LV-426 that saved her?
I'm pretty sure it's LB.
Yes. So, Ripley realizes that there are 2 aliens, xenomorphs, standing above her. For some reason, she knows that their names are Sad and Shady. And she has visions of the colony station exploding and of Newt, and the aliens turn on calm mode to sedate Ripley. She awakens again. She hears the aliens talking about how she had a run-in with the Wild children, and the aliens ask if Ripley needs anything. She tells them she wants a hot bath and coffee. They do not understand the request. So, thoughts, gentlemen, on these first couple of chapters where you realize not only is Ripley alive, she's in, I guess, like a NICU or something on this alien planet. Aliens have names. They talk to each other. It's basically Earth.
Yeah, as you read this, there are so many questions that you have, and you just have to set those to the side. Very few of them are answered. And what the story does is just keep handing you newer, weirder things. You start to learn a little bit about the society, but it just... do they go into any of the gender stuff here? I think maybe it's a little too soon. But there's a lot of...
It's more like halfway through and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Are you guys... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are you guys reading this and imagining that the xenomorphs are up on their back legs? Are you imagining that the little mouth is sticking out of the big mouth and talking? That was the stuff that I would have to remind myself that, like, oh, these are fucking xenomorphs that she's like walking with and talking with. And then you would forget. And then I think they even bring up like a different alien race or something that might be on the planet that seems like something out of All Real Monsters.
Yes.
And
yeah.
But I would continually forget, like they would describe them so human-like. That
yes.
And
they're explicitly wearing clothes, by the way.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
I know they decorated like their head ridges.
Oh, there's that for sure. They wear jewelry, and they definitely are wearing clothes.
Yeah, I must have glossed over that, but yes, it's like Bone said. In their actions, behaviors, way of speaking, they are human. But in actuality, it's like they're actually more monstrous than the aliens are in the movie, because they describe them as like having tentacles constantly. Tentacles is brought up. Paws. So it's like, did you even watch any of the alien movies before this?
It is an odd thing.
Yeah, like, what do you think HR's response would be to hearing, like, I'm not even going to attempt to do the voice, but...
It's just going to be Gorley.
Yeah. It's such a fundamental misunderstanding of the design of the character. And then even at the end of the movie, the end of the book, it does try to give you some sort of explanation to remind you, like, oh, this is their reproductive process. So it's like you've at least seen the first two aliens. No mention of, the queen thing, I feel like isn't brought up near enough.
At all.
No.
So it's just really hard to grasp as you're reading it. That because these things are potentially 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's wild, at the end of the book, she mentioned sitting in a seat that's actually designed for her. And then you go, wait, what the fuck would a seat look like for a xenomorph? It's that old thing of like, what would a chair look like if your knees bent the other way?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
but yeah, like what's
weird.
The tentacle thing about? I don't know. Is it just translating tail? But it does seem plural.
They do talk about their tails separately, though.
Yeah.
They have paws, tentacles, and tails.
And yeah, the other creature that's described, the Dentax, right? I want to see a Dentax.
I was imagining that as one of the predator dogs, almost.
Kind of, but I just think of it as being like basically a mouth with legs and arms.
But also a fish.
Yeah, I guess.
They do say
it does
fish.
say that, yeah.
It's a slaughter fish.
So just to make sure that I'm not losing my mind here, I'm pulling up Google Images xenomorph. Does this guy not, because they've got the those 6 little shafts that pop up off their back.
But those are like stalks. They're not. They don't.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. Did he just look at a photo and think like, oh, those must be like prehensile and move around, or
he only saw stills?
Yeah. And then the other thing I thought was, oh, are they going to do like a Independence Day like thing that it's an exoskeleton? So that's what the little mouth is, like
that's the actual creature.
Inside of it is a little like Men in Black guy controlling a big.
I mean, that is literally what the aliens are in Independence Day.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth, bitch. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see if because there is a drawing of her, as we talked about earlier, falling into the vat of lead at the end of Alien 3. I'm trying to see if that's just one of the production stills that was passed around and that's how they knew. Because it is like I said, have you seen any of these movies? I don't know what you're describing, but it is not a xenomorph at all.
Yeah. Did they just get a script? I mean, who knows?
Well, Hans Zimmer talks about, when you work with Nolan, you don't read a script. Nolan sits down in front of you for 3 hours and he tells you the story. And then based on that, that vibe and the connection, that informs what he's going to do musically. Was this just a guy on a road trip and somebody explained fuck, man, I got to write Alien 3 and Alien 4. And some guy was just like, well, all right. So in the first Alien, all right, fuck it. We're just going to go to Alien. All right. Let me just tell you that one because that's the one I've seen, and just sort of spits it out.
Very well. That's very plausible.
I would love to get M. Maria on the show, writer of this book. I have many questions.
No, yeah. You know what?
Somebody on the internet, please. Somebody has to know something more.
I take it back. He's seen it they've seen it because the mention of the planet and the engineer body, when you realize that she's talking to engineers, basically. It's a
pretty specific detail. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I wonder, it's that came out in 79. So it's maybe it had filtered to Russia/Ukraine. Publishing company of this was in Ukraine. It is written in the Russian language. Don't know if that means anything, but it is maybe at this point we're 6 years out from Aliens, I want to say. Is that 1986? This is the year after Alien 3. Soviet Union no longer. I'm just I'm trying to connect the dots of what they could possibly know of Alien at this point.
How available is Alien to them?
Oh, there's a Soviet supercut.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
But shortly into this book, we're introduced to the biggest revelation of this book. Ripley has an alien daughter named Scalesy.
Wonderful.
Scalesy talks. I want to say she's just, for most of the book, the weird, semi-translucent, flesh-colored chest burster. That's how I took it.
Part of me adores that. That there's a little happy little xenomorph child running around.
And she talks.
And she's very sweet. And she just loves her mother so much. And the descriptions of her, hugging up against Ripley and, being scared and all that stuff, I was endeared. Scalesy needs to be known.
Fuck, I did not make that connection. I did not interpret that it's the same fucking thing that burst out of John Hurt.
It's very clearly given to you that it's that at the beginning, Scalesy is that cute, small, okay, I say cute, but the small little version. Yeah.
Okay.
Just imagine, Ripley bopping around with a little friendly alien.
Yeah.
That's adorable. And they're going shopping.
Those are what I was thinking were the simples. So my comprehension of this is way off. So this
I think a simple could be a full grown Xeno.
Okay.
But it's all in their upbringing.
No one has any idea what you guys are talking about right now.
and they won't. No one's brave enough to find out.
No one really knows. So it's like, yeah, they shortly into this book, they kind of explain. It's like in the first one, it's like it's a failure to communicate. Like, we don't understand what you guys are doing. So on this alien xenomorph planet, there are what they refer to as bipeds, which is weird because I've always thought of the xenomorphs as bipeds.
Yeah.
They also walk on two legs, but I don't even know how to describe what they call bipeds. It's like they have short arms, fucked up fingers, like
long fingers, right?
No head, I guess, like just a mouth, and they're all dumb as shit.
And do you want to explain your understanding of the motherhood situation?
She meets like 5 of them at like a dog park. Like a fucking. That's they like walk up to her and they're like all polite.
I'm having a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this alien society. There's like a weird, like very specific, but also like I don't think any of us comprehended it. Very specific stratification of their society. There's normal people, which they don't ever really give a name to. There's simples, which I guess are just dumb people. Mediators, who I want to say are like the smartest of the dumb people.
They control the simples, right?
They control the simples. Wild children who it's like they're basically feral. It's like, okay, since xenomorphs have such an accelerated maturation in their species, there's a very critical period of them growing up where if like they don't have a mother to teach them things, they're just like feral. And I think that's what ended up attacking the engineers on LV-426.
Yep.
And also, since the bipeds on this planet aren't human, they're physiologically different, there's a symbiotic relationship between bipeds and xenomorphs where it's like the bipeds on this planet, if they get impregnated with a chest burster, I guess they don't die.
They physiologically can give birth to those and be fine. And it's like, then they're also, they're one of the mothers.
Yeah.
Because there are 2 mothers.
Every xenomorph has 2 mothers, a real mother and a biped mother. So it's like all of Alien 1 through 3 is like, oh, this is just a misunderstanding. I was just trying to fuck your mouth. Like, I didn't mean to kill you. Like,
yeah.
But
yeah.
So that means there's an egg laid. Yep. Then it's what it wouldn't be a zygote or whatever, but the fucking crab,
the face hugger,
hugger, which is the other thing that I thought, oh, that's the simple. No. So the egg is laid, face hugger implants another egg inside. So again, just like how the timeline is all fucked up, I'm reading this like, well, thanks to Alien 3 and the whole bull and dog, the biology of the xenomorph is informed by the biology of the host.
Yes.
Which is what I was like, oh, that's kick ass. Nowhere in this did I understand there to be a difference between Scalesy and any of the other xenomorphs on the planet.
Neither did the author.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure. I'm just so fucking grateful that I didn't read this alone and that we're kind of coming to a consensus on what happened.
That was the understanding for sure. Like even in Alien 3, but like, I don't think that was well established really until you get to like Prometheus, right? The nerds knew it, but what I'm saying is I think it's something that could be missed.
Yeah.
If you're maybe watching it with subtitles and maybe it's not in your language and you're trying to quickly jot down notes, you know?
But so one of the aliens that Ripley is interacting with is Scalesy's second mother, right? Or first mother.
Is it Shady or is it Sad?
No.
Which one is it? It's one of them.
It's neither.
Wait, which one is it?
That's the whole thing is like Ripley or Scalesy's real mother died.
Oh, yeah. And that's why that's why she needs Ripley so much.
Okay.
But Shady is related to
Her
them.
aunt? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, I thought there was some sort of relation
Yeah.
in there.
You're
okay.
right.
Because they're somehow telepathically linked.
Oh, yeah, they can do telepathy, by the way.
Some can, some can't, whenever it's convenient for the plot.
Yeah. Extremely convenient.
Sad and Shady, the two xenomorphs, explain all of this to Ripley, and she understandably is like, fuck this.
The real sad Shady. Please stand up.
She rejects her daughter Scalesy, and then has misgivings about it because she's like, oh, Newt, what would she have been like a few years down the road if she didn't have a loving mother? Scalesy will end up as like a wild children if I don't take care of her. So at some point, Ripley's like, I guess I'm going to be this.
Well, they're also
chest
guilting her
burster.
into it. They're guilting her into it because they say, well, Scalesy's very sick. She doesn't have the love of her mother, and she's now become very ill.
Yeah, and when she rejects Scalesy, these formerly nice aliens just completely stop talking to her. Xenomorphs have the capacity to be petty and Midwestern.
Fucking,
Hell yeah.
me and my homies know that real Ripley fucking bites her own tongue off, dude. Like, that's a huge part of like the hurdle of this is just no fucking way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a huge buy for her to want to be even friendly with a xenomorph.
But that's the whole thing. It's like, I do feel there's also like a lot of political commentary wrapped up in this that the three of us don't necessarily understand because we're a little too young and not Russian.
I'm not equipped.
Yeah. So leaving that to the side, it's like the whole, like a huge theme of this book is like, they're monsters, but are they? Like, can you look at them as monsters when you're on a planet filled with them and they're all just fucking going to Walmart?
It's called Everything for Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's a clear like class message too. I think that's all wrapped up in there. Okay, I don't know if it's clear, but there is a class message in there
100%, 100%. Yeah. I don't know. This isn't the type of story that you tell with this type of person on the fourth story. This is, you know what I mean? This is the second story. This is, you had the misunderstanding and now we turn it around. This isn't, this particular person had 3 terrible run-ins with a certain civilization.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's worth noting for the hardcore Alien fans, there's Alien Isolation, which posits that Ripley, does have a daughter. I don't know how canonical that is.
I mean, she for sure does in Aliens.
Oh,
it's
right.
She
was dead. Yeah.
Was either like 65 or had already died or something.
But I guess the point is like that even fleshes that out when in this it's not even mentioned, right? She only talks about Newt. At no point is the actual daughter who has aged away from her.
No.
It's not mentioned once. And the big theme of it is motherhood. So again, did the author just forget? Or have they not seen it? Or what? What the hell happened?
What cut? Again, what?
Yep.
Who can say?
But I guess I bring up Alien Isolation because you play as that daughter.
Scalesy?
I wish.
You get to be
Can
Scalesy?
we mod Scalesy into Alien Isolation?
Make it happen, someone.
Please. I know you're out there, modders.
No, I want those fucked up biped characters.
I want to see a Dentax. I'm really interested in it. I'm going to draw one.
Oh, what's the other one that's introduced like with 5 chapters left, like a Zuban?
Is that not what they're saying the name of the engineers is?
What?
No, that's like Navegas.
Oh, you're right. It's what's the zoo?
Because, there's like a chain link fence or something with one guy.
It's a smaller one that eats you when you're still alive. Is that what you're talking about? It's like a smaller...
It might be the egg eater. That might be what the Zuban is.
Yeah. That's it, I think.
I gotta say, all of this like nonsense that we're speaking kind of reminds me. I know, Bones, you've mentioned you like to fall asleep listening to podcasts or books on tape or Charles Bronson describing disasters.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've been listening to over the past week. Have either of you guys ever heard of Zecharia Sitchin?
Nope.
No.
So he's like one of the ancient aliens people, like probably up there with Von Däniken. Like he's the second tier. For some reason, I had a book written by this guy when I was a kid, which I'm shocked my parents allowed me to buy, because it's quite blasphemous if you're a Christian. But I've been listening to this for like the last week as my like I'm going to sleep thing, and it's so perfect because it's just words. None of it makes sense. It's like, in the Anunnaki, in Egyptian culture, they were actually this, but in Sumer, to the Sumerians, the god was named this, and it's just like all of this like jargon that can so easily wash over you. That's how I feel when we're talking about this.
You got to be careful because your like sleeper agent programming might go off when you're hearing that.
Like,
you never know.
Actually, aliens did build the pyramids.
I can no longer sleep without an audiobook. I mean, it's been a part of my life for a long time. Starting with books on tape years and years ago. My mom would let me have those from the library. I would sleep to them and flip over cassettes. You don't fall asleep fast enough, you flip that tape over.
It's a problem with us because right now we're listening to Stephen Fry's Odyssey, and he has such varying links in the chapters. And Audible just added a thing where before you could put the timer to be at end of chapter, or you could go by time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you can do number of chapters. So if I don't look ahead and look at the timestamp, so I don't get like 20 to 25 minutes worth of reading, if I just happen to get 10 or 15 and it just ends and Sam and I are still just sitting there sleeping, Sam will go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'll have to get out of bed and walk across the room and kick, like, because it would also be really annoying when it would cut off in the middle of a chapter. So we were doing a book on humanity, and we realized like these chapters are 45 minutes long. We would fall asleep and then we'd have no fucking idea where we were.
Do the same chapter again.
Yeah. So I'm spending 20 minutes while I'm sitting in bed trying to skip 30 to try to figure out like, what did I last hear? But
I'm old school. I download all mine. And I have a podcast app, or it's like an audiobook. It's called Simple Audiobook Player. Shout out. It's a great app. And you can just put how long you want it to go before it turns off.
Right on.
And I have a Bluetooth sleep mask. So it's
I don't know what that
pumped
means.
into my sleep mask. It's literally speakers in the sleep mask. And it does not disturb my wife, who will have none of an audiobook. She will lose her shit if there's an audiobook.
Yeah. I want to shout out, I just went to this place last weekend in the city I live in, Archie's Audiobooks and Cards. And it's one of those places that pops up on Google Maps. I'm like, surely it's not what it says. Like, surely that's a holdover from a different era. But sure enough, I went there last weekend. So much of it is just cassette tape audiobooks, which is totally my shit.
Yeah.
A lot of it by Sunset Audio Productions in Santa Fe, which is the company that did the audiobooks for the Bob Ham books that I want to say Brantley introduced
Yep.
us
I remember
to.
that.
Good times. Check it out if you're local.
Should we record Alien Contact as an audiobook?
I had that thought, and Bones was talking about it earlier. It's like, we need
all
to make
fought
it happen, because the barrier to recording an audiobook is copyright. I don't think we have to respect this. So
I've done one before. I have read an audiobook. I've narrated one. It's
you
something
guys
that
have
can be
good
done.
Voices. I kind of just sound like a fucking
Nah,
weirdo.
Nah.
We could all
you said
trade
this
off.
before. You've got a banger voice for.
I'll be Scalesy. Or no.
We could just trade off on chapters, buddy.
Too many lines. Who do I want to be?
Crowbar.
Dude, Crowbar.
Crowbar.
Pour one out for. I'm going to be Login Throat. Or Simple the Cleaner. Baldney. Good character.
I got Bald Me. That's me.
Yeah, so if I can find 60, so there's 3 of us, 62 other people, we're going to make this
60.
happen.
I can do 2 voices.
Oh, I'm not doing any voices. I'm just going to read it.
Oh, okay.
Let's just read the damn thing.
No, dude.
Let's just hire like Stephen Pacey, man. You'd be set.
Let's spend all our money to make this real.
Mm-hmm.
I want sound effects. I want a score.
Oh, Those were the best audiobooks. The full audio productions from the 90s.
No, they're sometimes fun, but I find them distracting.
Oh, I love it.
2 or 3 years ago, I did the Michael Biehn and Hendrickson. They came back and did
the Alien.
Like the other Alien 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was pretty good.
I actually have the original audio cassettes of Lance Henriksen reading the Alien 3 novelization. Probably should have listened to that before this. Could have added some nice context. But I want to say, DK, you have to do voices because clearly Jamat, Jadi, and Juk, they're 3 totally different characters with lives and concerns and feelings of their own.
Hopes
you have to do
dreams.
the voices. Yeah.
All right. So we left off with her now accepting changing her mind.
She rejects and then accepts Scalesy. And so we get into a very confusing part of this book for me, which is 1, the government of this planet, and 2, the Black P explosive devices.
There's a fucking Thunderdome situation that happens.
Two things I never quite wrapped my head around.
An election process?
Yeah, it's an election process.
Yeah. There's the administration.
Is it as simple as that?
There's the opposition. Every year or every period of time, they have something called the Great Fight or the Great Duel, where they literally fight about it and decide who's going to be the ruler. So the leader of the opposition, that's where I got super confused because he's called the Translator. He also has some other title that is escaping me at the moment.
Yeah, and what is it?
That's not Big...
Big Echo?
Big Echo works for the Translator.
It's a different guy, yeah.
Well, no, Big Echo works for the administration.
Yeah.
Translator is the leader of the opposition.
Right.
How they're different.
And what are they in relation to each other?
I don't know.
Oh, and not only do they have a system of government, they also have religion because there's a priest xenomorph.
Yes. There's literally a priest xenomorph who has sworn an oath to help everyone. So he has to help Ripley.
Yeah. So we'll gloss over some of this, but I want to call out
the shitty piece of art with some dots on
it. So we got Scalesy.
My girl.
In the next 10 to 20 chapters, we're introduced to Big Echo, works for the administration. Crowbar, an alien that rubbed up against Sad in public. Mask, member of the opposition. Longneck, Dirty Nose, also members of the opposition. Log in Throat, Shady's grandfather. Boring, an alien that was born on the same day as Dirty Nose, who works at Everything for Everyone, which is Walmart. Miser, he's the twin brother of Tramp. Tramp, twin brother of Miser. Tree and Spring, a mediator, the lonely one. I don't fucking know because they
lonely
just
one's
say
like
his
a tiger.
Name.
It's a different type of predator. Yes.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Right. It's like a tiger, basically.
I thought that was the Dentex.
No, the Dentex is its own thing.
Gloomy, an alien that works for Big Echo.
I don't even remember Gloomy.
Lone Stripe works for the opposition. Jamat, opposition. Stain, Jadi, Spot, Baldney, Podgeri, Pyatin, Beetle, Juk, all vigilantes. We get a priest. And at the very end of the book, someone named Simple the Cleaner, who is just an alien.
Remember when Alien had 6 characters in it?
And that's what we liked about it.
Yeah.
Remember how boring it was?
So, yeah, I mean, fuck. Ripley's dropped into the middle of this. There's a lot of moral and internal conflict about the previous 3 movies, balancing that with trying to raise Scalesy.
There's the whole thing about Ripley being able to change someone's gender.
Oh,
yes.
and Ripley's a werewolf.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. By the way, yeah. She's referred to as a werewolf many times.
Yes.
They have werewolves on Xenomorph Planet?
I don't know, but I hope you have a talisman to protect you from one.
You better have one.
I'm trying to remember, like, where the turn is. Like, what's the inciting incident of her going from being in the hospital to not in the hospital.
It's a little murky, but she throws the pee.
God, I
'Cause she's
don't understand that at all.
Yeah. They're in the park. Scalesy hears something. They go in, or Scalesy's like, hey, I want to go into this tunnel or something, and takes Ripley down into a tunnel, right?
Oh, and they look at the fights, right? They see the fights through a grate.
Yeah.
It really does feel like it comes out of nowhere where she's like, fuck, I got to throw this thing because they're tracking me. And then it explodes.
So,
and then,
yeah, before that, like Shady gets abducted by the Xenomorph Secret Service.
Yep.
Big Echo gives them two things that for the remainder of the book are either tracking devices or explosives. I was extremely confused by that. I still don't know. And then while Ripley and Scalesy are at the park with the weird, fucked up, freakish bipeds that live on this planet, Ripley's just like, oh, these people are fucking weird. And they decide to go into a ventilation shaft because you cannot have an Alien book/movie without ventilation shafts. Whilst in there, they are eavesdropping on, I guess, like a kindergarten for male versions of chest bursters. They're watching the Great Duel, which is the fight that determines who is the president. Don't remember who wins. Don't think it matters. And then for some reason, they're like, oh no, this fight just happened. Now everyone's going to be looking for us, I guess.
I like you. I cannot recall why it means they have to run. It's in there somewhere, maybe, but it's gone.
It exploded, and they thought it was maybe a terrorist attack, and that's.
But what prompts her to throw it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Doesn't Shady tell her, "Hey, you're going to be in danger, so you have to do this"? But I don't. What prompts? I don't. It's very murky.
Yep, and I'm just looking at my notes. I don't think we're going to get a better grasp on it than that.
Not to the audiobook.
Yeah. For reasons unbeknownst to the writer and the reader, this tracking device, does it explode? Like, that's the thing, is like I'm so unclear on the very base details of this part in particular.
At one point, I thought maybe the whole point was that the Secret Service or Big Echo, somebody was trying to blame something on Ripley.
That feels right.
False flag.
It would prompt them to go to war because they have space weapons, but they don't have planet weapons. So they need to go fight their enemy in space before their enemy gets to their planet because they don't have a weapon to fight them on the planet. That was
right,
part
and they're
of
worried that Ripley's going to use a transmitter and talk to Earth.
Yeah, I will say number 2 on my list of things I don't understand.
Okay.
The weapons. They don't
have them. They don't have guns and shit, apparently.
But there was this whole thing of like, weapons are arriving or something. Like, we need to intercept them. We, the opposition, and then we can be the rulers.
Maybe they think that Ripley's going to bring them or the knowledge of them. Because that's what they want from her at the end when she's being interrogated. They want to know about the weapons. That's the closest I can put it together.
So that happens.
Come on, Padawan, we're smarter than this.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. I'm reading my notes and I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
An alien named Log witnesses bipeds and children being slaughtered. He thinks that maybe the Simples and the Wild Ones have escaped from the Hospital of the Hopeless. He's attacked by a group of aliens wearing face paint. Ripley and Scalesy find out about this attack. Ripley activates the black-eyed pea. In my notes, I say it turns out it really was just a transmitter. Maybe it explodes. Who knows?
It explodes later. Yeah.
And Shady is summoned to Longneck's lair apparently the device did blow up, and Longneck's like, oh, you got to go find Ripley. Shady's like, what I can do this, but what I want to do as a reward, you have to teach me how to fly a flying machine. And then Longneck is like, okay,
let's do that
Ripley,
first.
You have to marry me, which is like also kind of a thing in part one of this. There is like a quid pro quo. Do this, but you have to marry me type
Hey, your
thing.
husband's in the other room dying. Let's get married. Yeah.
Think about how much stock we could have in this company.
I just couldn't get over the flying machine. I can't fathom what it looks like, what the controls.
Honestly, it's just a helicopter, right?
That's not the Nostromo?
No, to me, that's like, yeah, that's a ship that's a spaceship. That's the ship from the beginning, maybe.
That's the flying machine.
You think so? I don't think so.
It's got to be something.
That looks like fucking Howl's Moving Castle.
That's the space station.
Oh, shit. The Knife Gaz space station. It's at this point that Ripley, like, people are looking for Ripley because somehow a rumor has spread that she is a werewolf, but also that she can change your gender at will.
If you're not careful.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of Charlie Kirks getting a gang together.
They go to a store called Everything for Everyone to find a disguise. Dirty Nose goes to the store. He speaks to his friend Boring. Scalesy and Ripley don't actually get the disguise, but they have to escape into a ventilation shaft because
they talk about the morals of theft.
Yeah.
The morality of theft.
There's a lot of Ripley does a lot of teaching Scalesy in this about right or wrong.
Ripley's characterization is absolute bullshit, right? I mean, it's not even close.
I don't know. I think it is close to her actual character.
Bones, please.
I would say, I think maybe I'm just putting a lot of Sigourney Weaver's capability as an actress when I'm reading like the morality stuff. Like I'm really piecing that, like I can kind of see her capably conveying or struggling to convey like the morality of
this
that
cute little alien.
To this, yes, because it's written in a way where Scalesy's like, but you said that was wrong. She's like, yeah, but sometimes you got to do this. And then I feel like a few chapters later, she kind of even gives up. She's like, you know what? You're right. This is totally wrong. We are becoming no better than them by continually being shitty. But it's the opening of it that I'm just like this. Well, actually, we can't even. I can't even mention the ending. We got a crescendo up to this bad boy.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, so I'm torn. We're not to the priest yet, right? Because they escape up to the ventilation shaft.
There.
Yeah, they can't find the makeup. They go on the roofs of the city, which is a whole thing. It actually doesn't matter, but they spend a lot of time on it.
What are you guys imagining that this world looks like? Does it look like New York? Does it look like
well, the thing I think of is like, it kind of makes it sound like, yeah, there's regular city-like areas and then there's rural areas, like, you know, but also it mentions like, doesn't it mention like dangerous places out in the world? Like, there's like untamed wilds in this world as well.
I kind of picture it the way that Bulgaria was. Like when I think of them talking about being on the roofs, I'm like, okay, it's probably just like
thatch.
No, what's the name for like the terracotta shingles?
That's what I was thinking too, actually.
And it's like the way they describe it, maybe not Bulgaria specifically. Like I think of it as Europe. It's like all of this is confusing. Everything's narrow. None of it makes sense. It's easy to get lost.
The
people are trying to stab you.
Phones are wrong.
The police have checkers on their cars.
Oh, they have phones, by the way. They're called ears.
Yeah. So I think it's, to me, this alien planet is only as foreign as Europe is.
That's pretty accurate.
I don't know, man. It's just hard to imagine again, it's like when HR designs this thing, he's not designing it to hold a hammer. Right? Like, it doesn't make sense that this creature builds.
Imagine one hunched over a little like a steering wheel.
Right.
Flying a flying machine.
A spider builds a web. It's like, it's a symbiotic relationship, how that web looks versus the mechanics of its engineering capability. Yeah, so at a certain point, you're like, well, I guess the alien would just build like a tube, right? It would be comfortable walking through a tube.
It would all be phallic as hell.
Yeah. The idea is that it's just this thing that is just, again, you go back to, it evolves because it just jumps from one host to the next, to the next, to the next, and changes. It's not, it has no engineering capability. So when you read and you're trying to imagine, like, I was literally imagining the bodega that is a mile from my house.
Yeah.
As the store that they were in. And I was like, okay, there's a fucking pinball machine, a Topgolf.
A cat.
Yeah.
A pair of crutches that no one's ever going to buy.
Masterpiece wrap snacks, a ton of local IPAs, and apparently some makeup.
Cigarette machine.
Yeah.
No, I pretty much just imagined this as human society with xenomorphs running around.
Yep.
The only difference is that there is apparently a lot of crossbars.
Oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up. Yep. Every page has the word crossbar.
And dangerous as hell animals running around.
I guess they would be pretty kick-ass at the uneven bars, right?
Yeah. Much like Russia was and is.
Well, maybe that's what, they got those tentacles they can hang on with.
Yeah, they're on the roof eventually. There's a whole thing of like, God damn, this is going to be so hard to explain. I want to say Shady's grandmother, Shady being one of the sentient talking aliens that works at a hospital, she just wanted to fuck. But as in human society, premarital sex is looked down upon in a lot of cultures. So when it came time to lay eggs, she had to go off-world, which just so happened to be LV-426. So all of the eggs that were on the engineer ship are Shady's grandmother's eggs. And as a result of that, the engineers, who in this book I think are called the Nagvas or Navgas, are wanting to start a war with the alien planet. Yep. I don't remember why I started that sentence.
Because, I mean, that connects to the looming threat, and that's not quite the ticking time bomb, but they are on their way, right? And there's a diplomatic mission that has been sent to talk to them and failed. That's happening parallel to them running away. Yeah.
So the reason I brought that up is that Shady gets kidnapped by the Secret Service. Ripley and Scalesy are on the roof. And it's like, oh, who are they going to reach out to for help? Well, their relatives. The one surviving relative other than Shady would be Shady's grandfather, Loganthroat. They can't go to him because both the opposition and the administration are surveilling his house. And then it's like, oh, okay, who could they go to other than a family member, a priest? And so that's how we end up in a church. What is essentially like, I don't know, maybe it's just the culture I grew up in, basically a Christian church.
There's literally pews.
Yeah. On the xenomorph planet.
How do they sit in a pew?
They meet a priest who...
Got to be a hole for the tail, right?
So
it's looking like a toilet right off the bat.
Shockingly, being one of like top 10 most important characters, they never give the priest a name.
Yeah, he's just the priest. But he's vowed to help everyone. So he has to help Ripley.
Yes. Listener, guess whether or not we're actually telling you the plot of a story or if we just pulled this out of our asses. Impossible to tell.
Well, the bummer's going to be when people are hit up in a Discord and go, wait, what was this? And none of us can answer that. It's going to make it seem like we made it up and we forgot all the details. But I promise you, I sat in front of my computer.
You read this all at your computer?
Multiple
Me
hours.
too.
Jesus.
I am that bad of a reader that if I'm really into a book, I have to get up and walk around to read it. Because if I sit down, I will just fall asleep.
It happened to me so many times. I am like, I never take naps. That's not something I do. I'm like, I sleep, I wake up. Never do I get derailed in the middle of the day and like, I'm going to sleep for a few hours. Never fucking happens. Every time I started to read this book, it just took so much of my mental capacity that I had to go lay upstairs for like 30 minutes. Like, Scalesy, Alan, with all of these things swirling around in my head. It was difficult.
Yeah, I can't wait to figure out how you pay me back for this.
By being on 3 episodes of your show in a row.
Little bad guys.
God
Waking up at 6 a.m. because...
The phone call? Is that the phone call?
No, there was just a miscommunication as far as, hey, we're knocking these out real quick. We're going to do one on Saturday at 6. And for some reason, our host here thought that meant 6 a.m.
Disgusting.
Yeah, because I'm in a different time zone. So it's like, thought it was going to be at 7. To me, that means wake up at 6:30, ready to talk Child's Play.
I don't think we've recorded before 1 p.m. ever. And that was like a makeup. Okay.
Yeah.
That takes 50% of this away.
Okay. There's a cat.
He's relentless.
Priest?
I've never experienced you this flustered. Like,
well, so usually I did 18 pages of notes in Word for this. So the prep work is there. It's just like,
well, look, we can go over a little quick. If you just want to give some of that plot, like, let's get through some of this and we'll just shut the fuck up.
It's hard because it's like, and I've talked about this before. This is why I take Laundry Dan level notes. It's like, okay, but if I don't say this, they're not going to understand this. And that's just like, it's completely futile with something like this. So I become unmoored and like, I don't even know what I'm talking about because I don't know if this is going to be something that's cut out. I did finish reading this like 30 minutes before we started talking about it.
Yeah.
But there's a priest, at some point, evil dies tonight and a bunch of vigilante aliens are like, we got to go find Ripley. But then also these Dentechs, these things DK has been talking about.
My boys.
They randomly show up and these are described as like fish with mouths for heads and tentacles. They killed Bald Knee, everyone's favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
They also kill some simples. And then in chapter 37 of part 2, Jati goes into the temple and finds Ripley. Ripley, Scalesy, and the priest must leave the temple. And I feel like the next, I don't know, probably 10 or so chapters are like, we're in this loop, right? Of like, what are we going to do? Oh, we'll do this. Oh, some bad guys show up. What are we going to do? Does that pretty much like kind of sum up a lot of the back third of part 2?
Yep.
Yeah. If anybody has any actual momentum, it's Shetty.
Yep. That's what I was about to say.
Getting like tricking the dude into the flying machine. I'm hoping that's where you're going next.
I actually completely forgot about that.
Okay. Yeah.
But so part of the alien society being like strictly stratified is they like can't comprehend someone like Ripley who is like a caregiver but also she knows how to fly planes and is very independently minded, because from birth, all of the aliens are taught to be rigidly masculine or feminine. And it's like, what is masculine or feminine is very stereotypical and like misogynistic. It's like women, oh, you had an independent thought. You must be a man.
Yeah.
You can do something mechanical. You must be a man. Or like, you have a feeling. You must be a fucking woman.
And it's hard not to, yeah. And you think about it in the terms of the book and you're like, well, does the book come down on this? And I think it's that we should break those, but sometimes I don't know.
The politics of the book are very progressive.
Are they though, really?
I think so. Yeah. I think even in the first part, I think there was elements of like gaslighting women and ignoring them and, keeping them in a traditional marriage and the strain that it would put on them, or not having your spouse involved in the decisions of your career, and then the second part definitely being like, they can't comprehend that teaching a female to fly a flying machine. Well, that it's like, well, if you do that, you must be changing their lady parts into men parts.
Yeah, it's like you did this, so you are literally you literally must have grown a dick.
Yes,
there's no other way you could have learned to fly a plane.
Yeah, I mean, 25 years ago, if you said like, oh, these two women got married, most dudes would go, well, which one's the dude then? Right? Like, one of you wore a suit, right? Like,
yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, it's all praise be to our non-binary. You don't say queen if they're our non-binary monarch, Ellen Ripley.
Yeah, I like that interpretation of it. I just felt like maybe I was missing some more sinister ideas, but maybe not.
I don't think so. I think a lot of this is just like, time and place in which it was written, anti-bureaucracy, anti-stratification of society. That's like in broad strokes what I took from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're semi post Cold War, right? Your Secret Service, KGB, working in tandem, but also against said administration. I don't know. And then just basically the entire element of like an entire government philosophy being labeled as inherently evil when it's truly, it's just perspective based,
Yeah, because a lot of it is like when we talk about this subplot about the fear of Ripley introducing human weapons to their planet, because they apparently that's the one thing they don't have here is guns. It is like the fear of the other is, it's only a fear because your information about them is limited, and so your imagination runs wild.
I'm pretty primed for this right now. One of my favorite podcasts is Blowback, which is it looks through. So season 3 was about the Korean War, and it's kind of a more informed, progressive angle on the Korean War versus the military-industrial complex of the U.S. Whole campaign to wipe out communism.
Mm-hmm.
And deep diving and getting perspective on the Russian side that in hindsight may have been actually way more morally correct, especially considering the toll that World War II took on it. And, so as I was looking at this, knowing that it's Russian, that was kind of just at the forefront of like, oh, I think that's the gist of what this is. This is just a very simple, your single interaction with this person, it's almost like a fucking enemy mine thing. It's like, well, on a surface level, this is your enemy, but God damn it, if you guys if you just let us like grow an alien in you, you would find out that, we're not so different, you and I.
Yeah, it's all there.
Is this story going to defeat us?
I've been defeated. The next 30 chapters are not important. Scalesy, Shady, Ripley, Priest, they run around. And at a certain point, they have like, some of them have psychic abilities. Scalesy and Shady, their heads start to hurt because of radio transmissions. They, I think, break into a house or something. They watch a TV transmission. So the Negvas civilization, it's believed that they're going to attack the aliens very soon. And the Negvas are what we now, with the hindsight of having Prometheus, they're the engineers. They want to attack the aliens because of what happened on LV-426. And they have this huge discussion about, if Ripley was able to forgive the xenomorphs, she can be an example to the Negvas and act as a third-party intermediary between the Negvas and the xenomorphs.
It's so fucking flimsy. They'll have to believe you, Mom. We have to try.
It's Rocky IV. Everybody can change.
Yeah.
And so they find a ship. Unfortunately, Shady got all of 18 seconds of training on how to fly a ship before she was like, I'm good. Snapped Longneck's neck and threw him out of the ship. That's a whole subplot we don't need to go into. Ripley, she's like, oh, this ship is too different from my ship. I can't fly it. They decide they need to find the pilot. They fucking kidnap a pilot. Big Echo is attacked by egg eaters. Simple the cleaner shows up.
That scene was almost funny.
And so they find this pilot. They convince him to take them where they need to go. But before they get on the ship, entrance is blocked by Simples. And the priest uses his religious powers, which I think is a direct quote. I think they say religious powers.
Yep.
He uses his powers to make the Simples move aside. Because he's like, if Ripley can be a man and a woman at the same time, I can live up to my moniker of priest. I can use my religious. Ripley is the Harrison Bergeron of the xenomorph planet. She's just unlocking everyone's potential. It's Bradley Cooper and Limitless.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Bam Margera. And so Ripley ends up on the Negvas space station.
Their faces are slightly more recognizable. Like they're
humans with fucked up jaws.
Yeah.
And the Negvas, they want to go to war with the xenomorphs because they think that the xenomorphs are lying to them. There's no way any of this happened. Like all this egg shit, some third alien race from some planet we've never heard of. That's bullshit. Ripley gives them a big speech. They all stand up and clap.
Scalesy says, "We did it, Mom!"
Scalesy emerges as a fully grown xenomorph. We did it. The end.
Freeze frame.
They're high-fiving.
Simple Minds kicks in.
Oh.
And the whole bus clapped.
That Negvas, Albert Einstein.
It's an insane ending.
This is a loaded question, but what are your thoughts on Alien Contact?
The last page says, keep in mind, Alien 4, the movie, hasn't been filmed yet. As if to tempt the buyer of the book, hey, if you want early information, you better buy this. Imagine if you're that person that buys it at that time for that reason.
Some Russian kid was doubly disappointed when he saw Alien Resurrection.
Some Russian kid was like, that's not what happens in the book. And nobody believed him.
Not only is it terrible, but it's not Alien Contact.
Yes. He told all his friends, this is what happens in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything. Here's the characters. None of that shit happens. He looks like a dumbass.
This is like, 10 years ago in the era when the trailer mashup started. like, oh, fuck, dude, John Wick's going to fight the Hulk. They're making it, dude.
It's real.
What?
My
No, they
dad
can't.
works for Sega. He
He
told
knows-
me.
He knows, yeah, he knows Mario. Listen, overall thoughts on this. I will say it was an enjoyable thing to read, but it was a difficult process. But like, having done it, very glad to have done it. It's not a good book, but it is a fun exercise. It's a fun thing to talk about. It's baffling as hell. I appreciate the imagination and the thought that went into this. It is a fun, interesting what if. But I don't want people to think that we are encouraging them to read this, that like somehow that it's like incredible. I mean, sure, if you want to do that to yourself.
I don't think any of us gave that impression.
I just want to be double clear. We're not trying to sell you anything here. What about you, Bones?
This is just a dream. This is reading it feels like you fell asleep watching Alien 3 and you had watched, like, you're homesick, and you laid on the couch while your mom watched Guiding Light and Days of Our Lives, and then she went to the store to go get you some soup, and you flipped over to HBO and you watched half of Aliens, and the cold medicine kicks in, and you just take one of those fucking drooling, wet, fever naps. And this is the product of that. And I have to imagine that somebody listening to this episode, it's the equivalent of your coworker telling you about their dream and you haven't had your coffee yet. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you experienced the dream, but you can only remember 50% of it, which, thanks to the translation and everything else, like, we're lucky that we got 50% comprehension of it. So, if anything, it reinforced my problem with digesting media. Is like, I just need to absorb it. I don't need to try to guide it or fix it as I'm experiencing it, because this does not go anywhere that makes any logical sense. Like, you can't look at a xenomorph and go, they're going to have a Walmart and they're going to have flying machines. You can't. And you can't try to imagine, like, oh, where does this fit on the timeline? Like, in a logical way. So don't try to YouTube alien Russian novel, because it ain't there. I thought, oh, maybe I'll get lucky and somebody will have explained this and I can come in here and go, all right, guys, I got it figured out.
It doesn't exist.
It's just,
no.
This is it. This is that.
Yeah. So yeah, don't read this. Ask us about it, and we'll try to maybe give you more information. And I guess it's 2 out of 3. If Chris and DK say it's Shetty that did this particular thing, and I'm like, nah, I thought that was Big Echo, odds are it was Shetty, because this thing is just. I would say if there was an even number of people on this episode, yeah, there would have been a problem. There would have been a lot of bottleneck. Like, I guess we got to agree to disagree on what the fucking interpretation of that is. But
my only request is that I want listeners, if you've made it this far, join the Discord and draw me pictures of a Dentax. I want to see what you think the Dentax looks like, and maybe make it sexy.
Rule 34, Dentex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have complicated thoughts. I would like to think that they're nuanced thoughts on AI. I do kind of wonder what it would look like if you typed in the description of the bipeds from this planet to see what the image would produce, because
you better believe I'm doing that.
Okay.
Include those, please.
I cracked up at the concept of Sigourney Weaver Ripley watching her alien baby at a fucking playground, and these 5 things like wobbling over, and her just having to like,
boring
like,
talk with these dipshit weird aliens.
How about
like
that weather? I love that. It's like on the page, I'm like, okay, that's a normal thing for parents to talk about it on playground. And Ripley's just like, these are clearly they're fucking morons.
And doesn't the story specifically tell you that they all get killed? Don't they all immediately die?
Yeah. I think.
Yes. So that's grim.
Yeah, to spend days on this and telling yourself, like, I got to read 5% every night. And then telling my wife, like, I didn't read last night and there ain't no way I'm doing 10%. So I'm going to do 8%. And then on Saturday, I'll do 8%. Like the homework requirement of this. And then it ending in a recap of the Alien movie, Scalesy coming in saying, we did it, Mom. And the visualization of 8-foot tall engineers standing up and clapping.
Oh,
I don't think you could write a funnier ending.
It's so good.
I don't have any more words on this. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, are we making this up? You be the judge.
You'll never know.
If you want to read this, I am more than happy to provide it to you. Yeah, when I talk about things that are dead formats, like, it's really stuff like this that I want to talk about. The problem with that is there an engaging way to talk about it? And that's why I have my pod pals on here.
No.
They're the ones that can do it. Because I could not have done it alone, because this book is insane. It's a fever dream. I'm looking at the physical copy right now, and I'm still not sure that it actually exists. But these are the sorts of things that interest me. It's like one of the things DK said in our private chat is like, yeah, it's like, as a novel, is it interesting? No. As a novelty, as a relic of a very specific time and place, is it interesting? Absolutely. Like, this could only have come out in 1993 specifically, and it could only have been produced in Russia and Ukraine. We can't, as we've talked about, we can't really comment on the quality of the prose. For all we know, this is Tolstoy level literature, and we are just cretins reading it through the filter of AI. But that's, it's something I get into a little bit on the next episode of this show, which has already been recorded for the reasons of, like, this one had to be planned way in advance because of the length of it. But it's like, yes, the Google translation of this book is not even close to being perfect, but who else is going to do it? I've, in the past, reached out to professional translators. The cost is prohibitive for just a single person like me. Like, there will never be a return on my investment for translating this. But it's like, okay, maybe, and hopefully, like, maybe doing this is the seed that's like, okay, maybe we do need to translate this because it is so fucking weird and wild.
Surely there's a super fan out there that can do this and that would do it.
Somebody knows
him. Somebody knows him. Come on. A Russian-speaking super fan.
If you speak Russian and English, reach out to me. Let's get this done.
Like when I mentioned the YouTube thing, I feel like there's plenty of channels out there that will deep dive into like the alien timeline. Anytime a new entry is coming out, and they will deep dive into the, like the short films or the comics or anything that's like relative canon to try to explain the timeline. I feel like somebody could monetize and pay for the translation of this, because I would love to know, like you said, what glaring omission, like, is there a keystone to this? Is there a Rosetta Stone that would be like, oh my God, that makes so much fucking sense now?
What was the actual intention here?
Yes.
I would like to know. I would read it again.
And I'm saying that because I spent weeks reading it, it's like, if there's just a little nugget that unlocks it, I want to know. But it would be very funny if they're like, no, you fucking nailed it. Like, it's
actually the translation from the AI improves it. It's very strange.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I remember more about this than I do about Alien Covenant.
Agreed.
Could be recency bias. But I don't think it's all that. I think it's the wild swings of, Ripley survived a molten lead bath, and we're just not going to explain that. Also, she has an alien daughter named Scalesy. Also, everything for everyone. There's a planet of aliens that goes to stores and uses the credits that they've saved up on their life cards from working to buy makeup.
You won't hear this shit anywhere else.
The difference is like how you emphasize the what the fuck, right? When you read this, it's like a what the fuck? And you go right back into it. Alien Covenant is what the fuck? Like you expected. I think that's a shitty way of explaining it. It's like,
no, I fully understood what you meant. Okay.
Like this, when I went into this with like zero expectation and zero standard. So that is like, it's fun. It's like basically just fan fiction is written just to pump something out. My investment in it is minimal. And the return is the enjoyment of like watching Chris just fucking melt.
You looked like you were in physical agony.
Yes,
for much of this.
It's great. And sorry for you to laugh at your turmoil, but yeah, it's like Ridley Scott directed another fucking alien movie, and you're diving deeper into all this religion nonsense. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah. That's not what we're here for, dude. Like, we're here for a creature that is beyond explanation.
Unless it's terrifying a xenomorph priest using religious powers. Then we're here for it.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Well,
amen. The last question I have is, Bones, that last page said that the next story was Batman and the Man-Bat thing. Was that written by the same author?
See, when I hit 99% and I hit the next thing and I was like terrified that there was going to be an epilogue and I realized it was the end of the book and I saw that Batman thing. It reminded me last year I did the audiobook of Batman Resurrection, which I don't have the author's name at the top of my head, but it takes place between Batman 89 and Batman Returns. And it is a fucking masterpiece.
Wow.
I started it, but I haven't finished it yet. I want to finish it.
Loved it. The way that it incorporated like the world of Gotham pitched between those two things. The aftermath of the Joker on Gotham. I was like, please write fucking 10 of these. And when I found out he was doing another one, I pre-ordered it. I was like, this is the way to do this. This is great. So there is a way to do it, but I think it's dependent on the franchise and I think it's dependent on your skill level. And unfortunately, I don't feel like I can 100% say this is a skill issue because of the translation.
For sure. The
overall putting Ripley on an alien planet and they go to fucking Target. No 100% translation, I'm going to tell you. That's fucked up, dude. That's a Highlander 2 situation. Sorry.
Yeah. So, that was Alien Contact, Bones, Deep Fuck DK. Thank you again for coming on and breathing life into this dead format with me. I'll obviously have you guys back sometime if you're not too traumatized from this book. But before I let you go, just give a plug for 5DR, Nerds Geeks, DK and Dan. Let people know where they can find you.
5-Day Rentals, 4.4 on Apple Podcasts. That lets you know it's real, baby. That made somebody feel something.
It's got character.
Yeah, man.
Character's welcome.
Yeah. Check us out. We'll be back soon. It's in the canon of the show, I had to leave. But we'll figure a way to come back. They'll get me out of the molten lead somehow. We'll be back soon. I will tell you that I'm pretty excited with what we're doing when we bounce back that we're keeping secret. But, yeah, if you like Chris and you like DK, they've made multiple appearances. So they'll be back soon. 5-Day Rentals.
Yeah, everyone 5-Day Rentals first. And then if you need more somehow, Nerds Geeks in the Kitchen Sink, we do, the popular thing at the time, the Marvel, the whatever it is. I cover a lot of horror on there. We kind of talk about everything. And then DK and Dan like bands. We've got Dan from the 5-Day Rentals podcast, and we talk metal. We talk about shows that we've been to. It's great. The last episode, like I said, had Chris. a wonderful guest. Previous episode, we had Bones. It's a great show. It's really fun. If you like metal or fun chats about it, come hang out.
Hell yeah. So, on behalf of DK and Bones, I'm Chris. This has been Dead Formats. If you have any questions about the show, or if you have a dead format topic that you'd like to hear me cover, or if you have any suggestions for potential guests, please reach out. You can email me at deadformatspod@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at deadformatspod. Thanks for listening.